Qian Yo-woon asked, "Immortality? Is that really possible?" The former leader replied, "If you gather the essence cores of all 5 sacred beings, yes." Yo-woon thought to himself, "Huh, immortality? I see why they're so obsessed with them then. Right." He continued his thoughts. "According to the video from the future I saw, the Supreme Saber God lived close to 1,000 years. If the Blade Master really is the Supreme Saber God, then he really must have attained immortality. Then did I get the essence cores he should have gotten first?" He thought about his journey. But that wasn't really my intention. They were all kind of a coincidence, starting with the Amugi and the Fire Kirin, then the Northern Sea's Dragon Turtle, and finally, the Great Pung's spiritual power from the Cold Ice Staff. It's almost as if it was fate. If I get the Wind White Tiger's essence core, will I become immortal too? It's not really something I had really sought out. This might be great. The former leader looked at him. He said firmly, "If the Blade Master of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect had attained immortality, I'm certain the fate of the entire Jianghu would have rested in the palm of his hands." He added with relief, "I'm so relieved to hear that you took 3 of the essence cores." Yo-woon thought to himself, "It's 4. No, let's not tell him yet." He considered the future, "But I'm sure the Blade Master got the essence core of the Great Pung in the Potala Palace." "Huh? The Great Pung? Oh, there must be another one. It makes sense, considering the divine relic of the Northern Sea Ice Palace is old." The old man thought to himself, "If he did, then his goal will be the Wind White Tiger." He warned, "You might have taken 3, but you must not let your guard down." He recalled the past. When I first met him in the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect, he was fighting 20 brainwashed martial masters in order to test the Demon Iron Squad. He continued, "I had been conscious at that time, so I did my best to try to kill him, thinking it was my sole chance. However, the results were shocking." He described the battle. 2 martial masters at the Mystic Realm and 18 martial masters at the Evolutionary Realm fought him at the same time. But we lost in under 15 minutes. He leaned forward. "Yo-woon, the Blade Master is really a monster." He warned again, "If he has taken 2 or more essence cores, then it'll be a very difficult battle, even if you have taken 3. He commanded, "Take the Wind White Tiger's essence core before he does. If you do, even he might not be able to put up a fight." He analyzed the technique. "I have seen his blade techniques. It was the kind you can only pull off if you have transcended the limits of your body." He asked, "I take it you've read the Heavenly Demon Sword Art book?" He stated, "That's the only way you can put up a fight against the Supreme Saber God." He explained his contribution. "Thankfully, I have created the cultivation technique for the Heavenly Demon Sword Art before I infiltrated the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. It should reinforce the techniques by 70% more. We should hurry. I'll teach it to you today. You should be able to revive the Heavenly Demon Sword Art." Yo-woon responded awkwardly. Grandfather, I'm sorry, but I found the cultivation technique left behind by an ancestor on the Sapphire Gravestone and completed the Heavenly Demon Sword Art." The old leader shouted in shock. "What?" He stammered. "Well, you're my grandson, yet you continue to shock me." Yo-woon thought to himself. "I feel like he'll actually pass out if I tell him that I made a martial technique combining the Heavenly Demon Sword Art with the Supreme Saber Divine Martial Arts." The narrator explained. 5 days later the disciple asked, "Master, why don't you stay longer?" Yo-woon replied bluntly, "You don't mean that." The disciple insisted. "Of course I do. I still have a lot to learn," he continued. "I've taught you all that I can. I've passed everything down to you, so I'll check if you have mastered it later." The disciple was confused. "Huh," Yo-woon commanded. "You're basically my first disciple. Did you think I'd teach you and be done with you? I will have 5 of the 6 Swords Troop come to see if you're keeping up with training." The young man bowed. "I won't disappoint you," Yo-woon muttered. "Tisk," he thought to himself. He's not really talented, despite being a member of a martial clan. But he's not really interested in martial arts. Danju Qian is the better fit for the palace master position. Danbaek Yun really just struck gold. He announced, "We'll get going now. Do not skip out on training." The disciple responded, "Yes, master," Hyobong suggested excitedly. "Demon Lord, why don't we take this chance to change the Northern Sea Ice Palace's name? Like the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult Northern Branch." "Kaya, isn't that sea a heavy hit landed on his head?" Hyobong grumbled. "Is my head a drum?" The woman warned. "You need to watch your damn mouth." Hyobong muttered. "Oh, right." General Strategist Yeagle wondered, "What's going to happen to us?" The subordinate beside her said, "Don't be too anxious." She observed, "He won't harm us as easily since we're hostages, but he's so cold-blooded." She calculated, "Since we're being held hostage in return for sending the Muram Alliance's contingent forces, he must have decided that it's too early to fully start a war against the Orthodox Muram Alliance. It's not a bad idea for us to prioritize eliminating the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect either. The subordinate whispered, General Strategist Yeagle, we should escape once given the chance. He just cuts people's arms off if he doesn't like what they say. He might just kill us all, too. She thought to herself, the same might happen to us. Do you think it's possible to run away? Sir Moying spoke, you mustn't give up. People say that there's always hope. We should try when we see an opening. The guard interrupted. Sir Moying, he asked nervously, what is it? The guard announced, the Demon Lord wishes to see you. Moying panicked. See cult leader Qian? Oh, why? I didn't do anything. Yeagle thought to herself. He doesn't have the courage to escape even if he wants to. The guard reported, Demon Lord, I've brought Sir Moying. Yo Woon asked, I heard that the Moying clan is in Liaoning. Am I right to assume you know that place well? Moying answered, well yes. He thought in terror. Why is he asking me that? Is he going to eliminate our claw? Yo Woon ordered. Once we get to Liaoning, guide us to Changbai Mountain. The narrator explained, 10,000 Great Mountains, Heavenly Demon Cult. The narrator noted the location. Supreme Heavenly Demon Pavilion Training Room. They found my father? The messenger replied, that's not all. The Demon Lord has taken the Northern Sea Ice Palace as a subordinate sect of the cult. The cult leader shouted, what? The messenger continued, not only did he change the nation's official religion and made Kaifeng our territory, but he also took the Northern Sea Ice Palace as our subordinate sect. I knew he had great potential in him when I took him as my disciple. He's the blessing of our cult. Kukukek, he thought to himself. Wayan, our child is much better than I am. What a joyous occasion, he invited. Since you've brought good news, why don't you have a drink with me? The messenger replied. Of Su, the master attacked the wall suddenly with a blast of energy. The subordinate asked, what is it, Supreme Heavenly Demon? The master muttered, I thought somebody was eavesdropping on us. The messenger said, huh? Here? This place has the highest security. There's no way anyone could deceive your senses, the master admitted. It seems I was mistaken. I know my origin chi is damaged, but, to make a mistake like this, he said. Let's go in, the messenger responded. All right, the narrator explained. 10,000 Great Mountains, top of the 5 peaks. Director Qian panted. Kook, he thought to himself. There's no way he could have seen me with the naked eye. I can't believe he noticed I was there despite that. Damn it, isn't he basically a monster? He reached into his bag as it hissed. Huh? Shit! A spinning device hit the ground and emitted a massive electrical surge. The energy crackled and tore through the air, opening a swirling dark portal. Director Qian thought, I would have gotten sucked in if I was just a tad bit late. Phew, damn it, I wasted a time pack just like that, he sighed. Does this mean I only have 2 left? Ha, I can't walk all the way to the cult from here though. I might get caught too. His visor beeped repeatedly. He muttered, Tisk, have they already caught on? How are they this fast? Damn it, my plan's been ruined. He pressed a button on the circular device. A blinding pillar of light shot into the sky and he vanished. The narrator explained, Orthodox Muram Alliance. Because of the checks and balances between the 3 main forces, the higher-ups of the Orthodox Muram Alliance had no reason to get together. Especially so after the 4th force, the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect, appeared. However, today, the very people who did not gather at the very Muram Neutrality Pact signing convened at the Great Conference Hall. The narrator introduced the attendees. Muram Alliance head Righteous North Sword Li Mok. Muram Alliance's first general strategist Yu Bamareo. First Master Shangxi Sword Sect Leader Mu Guchen. Second Master Shaolin's Abbot Great Master Gak Yian. 13th Master Yeagle Patriarch Yeagle Yang. 14th Master Scarlet Sun Jin Yin. 17th Master Hubei Peng Clan Patriarch Peng Guyu. 16th Master Jinzhou Yan Clan Patriarch Yan Youngin. Even the squad leaders of the Muram Alliance had come. The narrator noted, only 6 people were absent, 4 masters and 2 squad leaders. The 7th Master, Ya Wang, who has yet to return from the Northern Sea Ice Palace. The 15th Master, Huangbo Nung, who died in the Northern Sea. The 3rd Master, Namgung Gyung, who died during the treaty signing. The 9th Master, One Meisun of the Podalaka sect, who died after being ambushed by the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect at the Jiangsu Province. Yan Buso, who has gone into isolation training, and finally, Black Shadow Squad leader Kong So-ah, who died in the Northern Sea. The narrator explained, the atmosphere was so tense. A member wondered, what could have happened that we were all called here on such urgent notice? Li Mok stood and announced, I thank you all for responding to the emergency call. There isn't much time, so I'll get straight to the point. Let him in. A man with long, wavy hair walked into the hall. An elder murmured, Mek Yuzhong, the Black Shadow Squad's adjutant? Didn't he get dispatched to the Northern Sea with squad leader Kong? Why is he here? Mek Yujong bowed. I, the new squad leader of the Black Shadow Squad, offer my greetings to the heroes of the Alliance. The abbot questioned. New squad leader? Alliance head. What is? Li Mok interrupted. Let's listen to his report first. Mek Yujong stood tall. Allow me to be blunt. I have found the base of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. The masters shouted in shock. What? Their base? Where is it? Jiangsu? Zhejiang? Mek Yujong pointed. Here, Yellow Mountain of Zhejiang's Hangzhou. The Peng Patriarch observed. Yellow Mountain. It's a beautiful but very dangerous place full of steep peaks. It's the perfect location to hide a base. A master asked, how did you find out that they're hiding there? Ever since they took away Jiangsu and Zhejiang, even the beggars of the beggar sect were killed when they entered their region. Mek Yujong replied, I understand you would ask this question as the beggar sect is one of the best intel organizations out there. However, I implore you take a look at this first. Alliance head, Li Mok commanded. Open it. Men pushed open large doors and pulled a massive object covered in canvas into the courtyard. The master gasped. What? See, could it be? The crowd whispered in awe. The dragon turtle. Is that the dragon turtle's head? It does look like a dragon, just as the legends say. A master walked toward another cart. It seems there's more to it than that. He pulled back the cloth and recoiled. What? Those are. Squad leader Mek, are these corpses? Mek Yujong confirmed. They are a sect leader and members of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. The master stuttered. Mek Yujong explained. There is a way to figure out if someone is from the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. They damage the vessels of the dead so that we cannot figure out their cultivation technique. If there are such traces, it's certain that they are. The master inspected a body and finished. You're right. They're from the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. The monk stood in silence. Li Mok spoke. If you're done checking, then please take a seat again. As you have seen, those are the head of the dragon turtle from the Northern Sea and the corpses of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect members. Squad leader Mek and the Black Shadow Squad chased down those from the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect, found their base, and brought back the dragon turtle's carcass. The strategist added, although the proof is clear, I do have one question. It is not my intention to downplay your skills, squad leader Mek. But even our spies were unable to get into Zhejiang. How were you able to find them? Mek Yujong answered, your question is only natural. I would not have made it back had their normal forces been present there. The strategist asked, What do you mean? Mek Yujong explained, when I found them in Yellow Mountain, many of them were absent from the base. If we raided them right this moment, we'd be able to take them down. Then is the reason you called us here. Li Mok addressed the room. General Strategist. The strategist stood and reported. This is information from the spies in the Unorthodox Alliance. The leader of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect has headed to Tibet's Lhasa with the majority of his forces. I'm sure this is already privy to a few, but some of them were headed to the Northern Sea. The master realized. Then the reason you sent the dispatch to the Northern Sea was because... The strategist concluded. According to all the information we have gathered, what they are after is not just the domination of Zhongyuan. They are also after the Imperial Palace, the Northern Sea, and Lhasas. Mythical creatures. The monk muttered. Amitabha? Sacred beasts? The elder asked. Just as the demonic cult coveted the blood of the fire Qilin, a treasure of the Ming Empire, they are also after these treasures? The general strategist looked at the book in his hand. He questioned. Xianbek's true scripture? Commander Yu, why this book? Commander Yu explained. As Grandmaster Gak Yin said, the Extreme 6 martial clan is after the sacred beasts. More precisely, they're after the true essence contained within these sacred beasts. The Patriarch asked, True essence? Do you mean to say they want a sudden surge in internal power? Yu answered, No. Honestly, I thought it was just a legend mentioned in the scriptures, but judging from the fact that they are after the 5 spirits, everyone, please look here. He showed a document to the room. It's just like what was written in the Xianbek's true scripture, whoever obtains the true essence of the 5 spirits shall achieve immortality. The attendees murmured in shock. Immortality? Is that even possible? The Patriarch asked. Could it be the same immortality which was sought by the first emperor in ancient times? The Alliance head spoke firmly. It's natural that many lords find it hard to believe. However, the important point is not immortality itself. The general strategist added, according to the information gathered by Commander Yu and Master Make, our alliance can use this fact to turn the tables on them decisively. He moved markers across the map. Chariot, King, Upright, Earth. The Alliance head announced. From now on, our alliance will launch an all-out campaign for the future of the Orthodox martial world. The subordinate thought to himself. Was this also why the Western commander, First Master, was called? But if he leaves the front lines, won't it be difficult to counter the unorthodox faction? Mu Jiu Qian remained silent. The general strategist explained, currently, the unorthodox faction is in chaos due to the ongoing internal conflict. The all-out campaign can only be executed at this moment. Mek Yuzhong stated, that's not everything. The true essence of the dragon turtle has fallen into the hands of the demon god. The crowd shouted, what? How could this be? The Alliance head warned. The all-out campaign I mentioned earlier is to prevent that. The master thought to himself. Commander Yu, what do you mean? If that monster already has the true essence, how could we possibly stop it? The general strategist stated, it's not over yet. I also don't know if other sacred beasts truly exist. However, there is an interesting legend regarding Changbai Mountain. The master asked, could it be? There is a sacred beast in the Changbai Mountain? The general strategist answered, exactly. Wind White Tiger. According to Sionbek's true scripture, there exists a sacred beast called Wind White Tiger, one of the 5 spirits, on Changbai Mountain. The abbot added, if the White Tiger truly is a sacred beast, it must also possess a true essence, and as Commander Yu said, the Blade God's 6 martial clan or the demonic cult would very likely target it. The Alliance head commanded, from now on, our alliance will split its forces in 2 and head toward the enemy bases marked on the map, Hangzhou and Changbai Mountain. He pointed to the map. On the map, King represents the Blade God's 6 martial clan forces fleeing to Napsul in the western regions. Chariot indicates the demonic cult forces in the northern sea. Mek Yuzhong thought to himself. Master Kong, no, Lord Yang, who dreamed of the blue sky. Your death has become the spark for a great flame for the greater good. He smiled to himself. The narrator explained. Northern Great Plains. The guard muttered. Huh? The disciple asked. Is this really my yurt? Can I really use it? Hyobong asked. Weren't you pestering me to try it out? The disciple exclaimed. Oh, the inside is really cool too. Hyobong thought to himself. Mu Wi has reached the unrestrained realm, comparable to an elder or a sect master. Yet why does he act like a mere apprentice? He asked the other man. Do you need it as well? The other man replied. I'm fine. More importantly, it would be good if we could give one to the cult leader as a gift. Now that I think about it, the sect leader isn't here. He's probably with the former supreme leader. The man asked. Ah, are the 2 of them training again? Hee, of course they are. Heavenly Demon Sword Technique 4th form. The energy shattered the ground. Yowun complimented. Excellent, grandfather. You've flawlessly executed the 4th form of Heavenly Demon Sword Technique. Grandfather laughed. Ha ha ha. It's all thanks to you, Yowun. Just knowing the Qi circulation technique grants such power. He thought to himself. The Qi circulation technique I painstakingly developed seems trivial in comparison to this. Is it true that Heavenly Demon Patriarch was a genius to have created this? It would have been ideal to cultivate inner power with Heavenly Demon Sword Technique instead of the Reverse Muscle Classic. But unfortunately, I can't convert my inner power immediately. That's a shame. Yowun asked. Grandfather, will you practice the 5th form as well? Grandfather responded. No. Even with perfect theoretical understanding, the 5th form is harder to master than what I expected. Merging all sword techniques into one unified form is not easy. He sighed. Yowun, I'm grateful to you but I also feel sorry. Yowun said. Not at all. Supreme Grand Master, it's only natural for you to learn Heavenly Demon Sword Technique. He thought to himself. Even so, the fact that this old man is learning our sect's greatest martial art, but it's not the absolute best. I do not wish to hide from grandfather the truth, after all the years he sacrificed for the sect. Grandfather asked. Huh? What do you mean? Heavenly Demon Sword Technique is not the best? Yowun explained. On the cliff of Broken Sword Valley, Heavenly Demon Patriarch left behind an unfinished sword manual. Grandfather questioned. An unfinished sword manual? Yowun stated. It would be better if you see it for yourself. He jumped into the air. Purple energy gathered around his hand. Grandfather thought to himself. The sword paths traverse directions that are impossible for a human body to execute. How can such a sword manual exist? And it seems as though Heavenly Demon Sword Technique and extreme divine martial arts are mixed together. A massive blast of energy exploded forward. Grandfather shouted. This can't be. This is what the founding patriarch created, an incomplete sword technique. Yowun walked forward. Strictly speaking, even the founding Heavenly Demon Patriarch gave up on completing this sword technique. The narrator explained. In the future, no one except the demon god, Qian Yowun, will be able to master it. Yowun announced. I have named it, Demon God's Sword Technique. The narrator explained. It was the moment the legendary sword technique made its first appearance here, in the northern Great Plains. the narrator explained. 4 days later, Liaoning province's northern borders. Baek Ji struggled to stay on his horse. He shouted, "Whoa! Ha ha ha! At this rate, you're never gonna learn how to properly ride a horse." Baek Ji muttered, "Damn it! I failed again, just because I let my guard down for just a second," he thought to himself. "I know I'm in a hurry, but I must have really lost my mind." Drinking the dragon turtle's blood like that, the narrator explained. The members of the Six Swords Troop, who have been close ever since the Demonic Arts Academy days, have trained martial arts through duels. Originally, Baek Ji had fought for the high-ranked spots in the Six Swords Troop with Ko Wang-hul. However, at some point, he found that he was falling behind Moon Gyu. Not only that, but Ko Wang-hul reached the evolutionary realm. He inherited Qian Yuan's new martial arts to try and catch up with his peers, but it was not good enough to catch up to Ko Wang-hul. Amidst all that, the worst thing for his ego happened. Baek Ji looked shocked. Hyobong cheered. "Whoa! I won for the first time." He, the narrator explained. He lost against Hyobong in a duel. Having gone through all kinds of ordeals at Qian Yuan's side, Hyobong was no longer the same Hyobong of the old days. Baek Ji thought to himself. "Damn it! I lost to Hyobong of all people," the narrator explained. He had always thought that Hyobong was inferior to him, so losing to him like this made Baek Ji do something rash. Before anyone could stop him, he drank the dragon turtle's blood which had not even been watered down. Baek Ji ignored the others as they reached out in alarm. The narrator explained. Baek Ji completely lost his cool. He ignored the fact that the martial artists of the Northern Sea Ice Palace had all burned to death from the lightning chi. Baek Ji thought to himself. Even Hyobong managed to successfully drink the fire Kirin's blood. If he can do it, so can I. He screamed as lightning exploded from his body. The narrator explained. The consequences of his rash choices were terrible. Had Qian Yuan not appeared in time to calm the lightning chi running wild through his veins would have killed him. With time, Baek Ji was able to absorb the lightning chi, but it was not easy to control it. Baek Ji panted heavily. He thought to himself, if he let his guard down for just a bit, the lightning chi would escape his body. Qian Yuan observed. He's different from Hyobong. The fire Kirin's blood in the Imperial Tomb had been watered down using the 10 millennia frost, but the dragon turtle's blood was a lot more fresh and had more spiritual power. He told Baek Ji, if you can completely convert all of the lightning chi in your body to true chi, this shouldn't happen. Baek Ji asked, how am I supposed to do that? Yo Woon smiled. Simply put, you need to reach the evolutionary realm. Baek Ji thought to himself. If it was as easy as he made it sound, I'd already be in the evolutionary realm. I have both the internal energy and lightning chi, but I don't even have good control over it. I haven't learned anything either. Does that mean that Hyobong is just more talented than me? No, Hyobong didn't grow stronger because he was insecure about how others perceived him. He was just true to his duties. Baek Ji thought to himself. I was foolish. He is him, and I am me. I shouldn't have rushed myself. Damn it, I have no choice but to admit that he's... Electricity crackled around Baek Ji again. Hyobong noticed. It's hard to control, right? I understand. He grinned. With great power comes great responsibility. Baek Ji thought to himself. I didn't know he could say philosophical stuff like that. Have I been mistaken about him all along? Hyobong whispered. I can't sleep at night because I have to try and restrain this heat within me every night. Ehehehe. Baek Ji looked disgusted. I take back what I just said. I don't want to lose to this perverted bastard. Hyobong shouted. Ah! Baek Ji, wait for me. Grandfather laughed. Haha. You have quite the interesting subordinates. Yo Woon looked at his men. When I first met him, his bright personality had been suppressed by the hidden sect, but he's become someone who can lighten the atmosphere. He thought to himself, I'm really glad that he was my first subordinate. Mo Ying announced, we're at the Liaoning borders now. Yo Woon asked, you can take us to Changbai, right? Mo Ying asked nervously. Cult leader Qian, are we really going to the Changbai mountain? Do you dare to question the demon lord? Yo Woon asked, you were hesitant the last time I asked you about the Changbai mountain too. What are you afraid of? Mo Ying thought to himself. Cult leader Qian. There is an unspoken rule among the residents of the Liaoning province. No matter what happens, do not enter the Changbai mountain. Grandfather asked. What? What do you mean? Mo Ying explained. Both my father and grandfather have always warned me about it. I've never even seen the bottom of that mountain. Yo Woon asked. What kind of rule is that? Mo Ying answered. I know that the region south of the Changbai mountain is the Dongyi People's Nation, but that's a border issue between countries. My grandfather said that there is a monster at the bottom of the Changbai mountain. He warned me to not even dare to go near it if I don't want to die. Grandfather thought to himself. I don't remember it too well, but I think I heard something about this too. I think I heard the higher-ups of the Supreme Saber of Six Martial Arts sect talk of a monster that guards the Changbai Mountain. Yo Woon thought to himself. A monster? Could they be referring to the white tiger? Grandfather looked worried. If the monster is referring to him, things might get hard. Yo Woon asked, him, who are you talking about? Grandfather answered, Combative East Divine, Ak Awi. The narrator explained, 2 days earlier, region near the east of the Liaoning province and Jilin province's south. Ho Hyunja observed, I've never seen people like this battle ever since I became a master. The narrator explained, 10th Master Deongking sect leader Ho Hyunja. Ho Hyunja continued, it's enough to destroy an entire province. A great army of 5,000 elite martial artists of the orthodox Murum. Sati Ae sighed. Amitabha, I don't know if it's right that we employ so many people for the Changbai Mountain. The narrator explained, 4th Master Hengshan sect leader Sati Ae. Ho Hyunja said, I agree. I feel like it might have been better to station 90% of these forces by their base in Hangzhou. Sect leader Hong asked, you still do not understand why all these people are necessary even after hearing the general strategist's plan? Ho Hyunja responded, that's not it, sect leader Hong. I just don't understand why we need a third of all our forces just to get our hands on the essence core of some mythical creature. Sati Ae said, Amitabha, I guess you might not know since you only recently took on this position. Ho Hyunja asked, what do you mean? The abbot asked, why do you think that 200 men and the third general strategist Oh Jae-so went ahead of us to the Changbai Mountain? Ho Hyunja answered, didn't you say that it was to convince the man who protects the Changbai Mountain? But even if he's the strongest of the 5 greatest martial masters, the abbot interrupted. That's not all he is. Ho Hyunja asked, what do you mean? The abbot explained, if he had been more active in Murum, he might have been titled the strongest martial artist in general. Ho Hyunja said, the strongest. I hope you two are right. I know that he's one of the 5 greatest martial masters. However, I don't see why they are exaggerating his strength so much. Anyway, if we have him as our ally, we could take on the demon god. Sati Ae added. If things go according to plan, yes. Ho Hyunja asked, the third general strategist and the others will be joining us at the bottom of the mountain whether they fail or succeed to convince him, right? I hope he'll agree to be our ally, the narrator explained. First Master Shangxi Sword Sect leader Mu Guchen. Mu Guchen commanded. Whoa, stop, a soldier asked. What is it? Mu Guchen looked horrified. Something's wrong, he thought to himself. This metallic smell. Could it be blood? He looked at the sky where crows circled over the crimson horizon. He asked in shock, what is with this ominous energy? The patriarch muttered, it seems like there is a problem. This strong of a smell of blood is. It couldn't have been just 1 or 2 people that died. Mu Guchen commanded. Everyone, forward. The army charged ahead as an explosion of energy filled the air. A lone man in a straw hat and white fur stood atop the mountain pass. Great Master Gak Yin observed. That's the combative East Divine, Ak Awi. The soldiers murmured in disbelief. The combative East Divine, is that really the combative East Divine Ak Awi? So it was true that he's been living in Changbai Mountain. The only man in the 5 martial masters who rose to the top of the Zhonghu with his 2 bare fists alone and earned the title Divine. Gak Yin asked, do you see the blood on his clothes? Mu Guchen observed, now that I'm looking at him. Gak Yin thought to himself. This thick blood smell and the combative East Divine, Amitabha. I do not have a good feeling about this. I want to deny it, but the energy he has is hostile. Mu Guchen shouted, are you Ak Awi, the combative divine? I am Mu Guchen, the first master of the Orthodox Murum Alliance and the Shangxi Sword Sect leader. The Alliance's general strategist Oh Jae-so should have come by to notify you that you and Changbai Mountain are in danger. Have you heard from him? He continued as the man remained silent. It seems like he's concerned about the mountain, but why isn't he saying anything? I know it's easy to misunderstand since our whole army is here, but we are only preparing for what is to come. Ak Awi interrupted. Leave, he warned coldly. Sir, as I have just said, there are people after Changbai Mountain's mythical creature. This is your final warning. It will be your lives at stake if you do not leave now. Gak Yin whispered, Sect leader Mu, it doesn't look like he wants to negotiate at all. Mu Guchen thought to himself. It seems we'll have to give up on plan A. If he's guarding this place, it must mean that the demonic cult and the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect are not here yet. I wanted him to join forces with us, but I guess that's not possible. He shouted, we might have to lose some lives, but we must take the Wind White Tiger no matter what. All of this is to protect you and Changbai Mountain's mythical creature. Please understand, even if we have to get a bit rough. He signaled his men to move. Celestial Dipper Formation, the narrator explained. The Celestial Dipper Formation. It is a formation made by a fallen sect's founder, inspired by the Big Dipper in the night sky. Dubi, Merrick, Fekta, Megrez, Aliath, Mizar, and Alcade. A formation where 7 martial masters work together in their own positions to increase their chi. Megrez, the center of the formation, is the only weak point of the formation, and so Mu Guchen took that spot as the most skilled martial artist in order to compensate. Mu Guchen lunged forward. Take this, Shangxi Sword Sect Ultimate Move, Aerial Sword Invincible. Combat Divine. Ak Awi blocked the blade with his bare hand and shattered it. Mu Guchen shouted in horror. I can't believe it. He broke my sword. It's our sect's generational treasure, too. Ak Awi struck him down instantly. Master Peng shouted. A martial artist at the peak of the 9 renowned sects was knocked out with just a punch and kick. He charged forward but was quickly repelled by a single blow. Master Peng screamed. The soldiers cried out. Master Peng! Master Ho yelled. You monster! He attacked with his sword but felt a sudden chill. He thought to himself. That energy just now. He looked around in confusion. He disappeared. Swift. He looked up as Ak Awi descended upon him. He gasped. Clone technique. The force of the punch sent Master Ho crashing into the ground. He groaned. The strategist observed. The impact put him into his knees, all from just a punch. This is ridiculous. We're gonna all die at this rate. Master Ho shouted. Assist me, great master. He gathered his energy and announced. Demon subduing sword art secret technique Kulakala. Great Master Gak Yian activated his inner power. Amitabha, classic of muscle change 10th mastery chi. Sa Tae thought in shock. What? My chi is being pulled as if he's absorbing it. What is this? Sa Tae screamed in pain. Kua, he realized in terror. He broke through my chi defense barrier. No, it's more like he went through it. Is his fist. Abbot Gak Yian shouted. Sa Tae. Mu Guchen yelled. You monster! He unleashed his move. Dog beating staff technique vicious dog obstacle. Strategist O Jaso reacted in horror. What? The masters of the Orthodox Muram Alliance were defeated so easily. He looked at his massive army. He announced, this is no time to spectate. There are 5,000 of us. If we all work together, we can stop him. He commanded, charge. The soldiers responded, yes, sir. O Jaso thought to himself. Even the combative East Divine is still human. If we outnumber him vastly, he's bound to get tired at some point. He noticed a shift in the air. What is with this flow of true chi? It's like, he's trying to bring down a whole mountain. He panicked. This is bad. I need to undo the restraints. No, this is too much. He screamed. Split up. Ak Awi stomped the ground and unleashed a cataclysmic shockwave. Black energy erupted from the earth and tore through the ranks of the army. O Jaso lay on the ground, struggling to breathe. He thought, with just one punch, 700 to 800 martial artists fell. He stared at the figure in the distance. So this is the combative East Divine, Ak Awi. Ak Awi roared. If you do not wish to suffer more losses, take those who have fallen and screw off. A soldier groaned. Screw off with them. Oh, the man realized. Everyone's alive. The crowd murmured. Only a few have died. Are the masters fine as well? Ak Awi shouted again. I told you to get out of here. O Jaso yelled back. Combative Divine, thank you for your mercy. I am thanking you in the fallen master's stead. We will leave as fast as we can. Ak Awi ordered. Hurry! The Orthodox army began their retreat, carrying their injured comrades. Mu Guchen thought, I should be thankful we're still alive. He noticed a change in the atmosphere. What is this sudden surge of murderous energy? The combative East Divine is already gone. It's as if the entire forest underneath the mountain has become a demonic entity. Ak Awi stood before a dark figure on the cliffs. He spoke. This is different from what was promised. Didn't you say you wouldn't interfere with those who come here? The mysterious man replied. They've left. Ha, how touching. You must have wanted to save them, seeing as you went all the way down there to stop them. He mocked. But how long do you think you can keep this up? Ak Awi said firmly. Keep your oath. The man laughed manically. Oath? What the fuck did you just say? He threatened. There are only 6 days remaining until the 10 years are fulfilled. You will die by my hand. He vanished into the night sky. Ak Awi looked at the moon in silence. The narrator explained. Meanwhile, about 2 kilometers away from Changbai Mountain, the sect member observed. It's been more than 20 years and that monster is still protecting that place. 20 years ago, I was in the Battle of Changbai Mountain as a disciple of the Blade Sword sect. He continued. Our great plan was delayed by 20 years because of that battle. I still cannot forget the nightmare of that day. The second sect member spoke. We ran all the way here from the Potala Palace without rest to get here before the demon god. He looked at the distance. How is it that the Orthodox sects got here first? The first member replied. That's about 30 to 40% of their entire force. For a whole army like that to try and enter Changbai Mountain, the second member asked. Do you think the Orthodox Muram Alliance is also after the essence core of the Wind White Tiger? The first member answered, it sounds likely. If that is true, we should wait for the Blade Master then tell him. It's just you and I here with 200 sect members. We're better individually, but there are just way too many of them. The first member smiled. Yes, you're right, but perhaps this is for the better. The second member looked confused. The first member explained, we won't need to do anything. I meant to make the monster of Changbai Mountain vigilant so that he would fight the demon god anyway. The second member realized, right, that was our goal. The first member added, it'd be good if they fight each other. Even if they don't, the one whose innate energy has been injured will die at the hands of the Blade Master, who will soon arrive. The second member asked, they're the problem. They're still fine even after being attacked by the monster. Will they stay here though? The first member answered, if their goal is the essence core, they'll back off. If their goal is to interfere with our great plan, they'll try to ambush us. He thought to himself, if we could involve them and get rid of the problems all at once, I'll be able to recover the Blade Master's lost trust in me. The second member asked, who do you think would win if the combative divine and the demon god were to fight? The first member stared intently. The combative divine, the narrator explained, Changbai Mountain 80 kilometers north. The Orthodox Muram Alliance set up camp in a field surrounded by mountains on 3 sides to wait for their higher-ups to recover. The narrator noted, on the 4th day, all the masters awoke and were able to focus on healing their internal wounds, but Ho Hyunja, the Deonking sect leader, ended up dying because of a wound to the neck. The narrator explained, temporary meeting room. Mu Guchin spoke, I thought we'd be able to take down the combative East Divine with almost 5,000 martial masters. What a pitiful result. A master asked, we're here for a meeting, but what can really be said? Abbot Gak Yin stated, Amitabha, there is one thing I do not understand. Although we lost a few people 4 days ago, the combative East Divine let us go with minimal casualties. A master replied, that bothers me as well. The general strategist asked, what do you mean? The master explained, it felt more like he wanted to stop us from going into the mountain rather than fight us. Come to think of it, he did look back at the mountain right before we fought. What are you talking about? If that monster really didn't want to cause harm, why did he kill everyone who was part of the first group that went? Gak Yin wondered, I'm wondering why someone so merciless as to kill the entire first team would let us go. Perhaps the one who killed them was. Mek Yuzhong interrupted. Wait a minute, aren't we thinking of this too lightly? A master asked, Squad Leader Mek, you may have inherited Squad Leader Kang's position, but do you really think you are fit to join a conversation between masters? Mek responded, it's because the way you people act is so frustrating. I apologize if I displeased you. I am simply reminding you as you seem to undervalue the death of our men. The master asked, what? Mek explained, 40 people isn't a lot considering our total number, yes. However, they are still precious comrades and family. Not to mention one of the dead is a master. Just because he let us go does not mean he wasn't the one to eradicate the first group. The master thought, this guy, Gak Yin said, Amitabha, you have a point. It appears I've thought too lightly of our losses. Mek stated, I'm just saying that we should consider the possibility of another threat. The murderous intent we felt when retreating definitely did not come from the combative East Divine. Ha, aren't both of you being too dismissive? Who other than the combative East Divine could eradicate the first team? The master retorted, aren't you the one being dismissive when you were knocked out at the time? The patriarch asked, what? Are you insulting me for my injury? Mu Guchin shouted, we do not have much time. Since both of our plans have failed, we'll need to proceed with the final plan that the general strategist came up with. Gak Yin added, Amitabha, he's right, it's pointless for us to argue here. The strategist explained, right now, we need to somehow make either the demonic cult or the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect fight the combative East Divine and then help him. We only need him to fight the leaders of the 2 forces. As for the rest, we can easily take care of them. Mu Guchin said, the final plan was in case the combative East Divine had established his own forces in the mountain. However, he's basically a whole army on his own. It should be fine to proceed with the third plan. He continued, we cannot proceed with your plan if the demonic cult leader does not come to Changbai Mountain, Squad Leader Mek. Mek replied, I hope your prediction is not wrong. He went to the Northern Sea to get the mythical creature's essence core when he already had the fire Kirans. I'm certain he will come to Changbai Mountain. If we prepare thoroughly, we'll be able to both get the mythical creature's essence core and kill the demon Go. A voice interrupted. What an interesting plan, Mech shouted. Who goes there? He turned around. Who is it? Who said that? The soldiers yelled. Someone's here, behind us. Mech thought to himself. All of these martial masters here and none of us noticed his presence? Could it be? Qian Yo Woon appeared as a glowing projection. He asked, I was wondering where you went off to. So this is what you've been scheming? A master trembled. This voice. Qian Yo Woon warned. If you put your hands on someone else's belonging, you need to pay the consequences. The narrator explained. A week ago, Kaifeng Heavenly Demon Divine Cult's branch reception room. The branch leader asked, Elder Wan, Elder Yian, was there an order from the Demon Lord? Elder Yian replied, No, it's partly my own arbitrary decision. The branch leader responded, sorry, but you are in charge of the Darkness Sect. You can't leave without permission. For you to be here without the Demon Lord's orders is, Elder Yian said. Goodness, it's not totally of my own will. She pulled out a token. The branch leader shouted in shock. The Heavenly Demon Authority. I, Gu Choyong, the 12th Elder, offer my greetings to the Heavenly Demon Authority. Elder Yian said, it's an emergency one that the Demon Lord gave me specifically for this day. The branch leader asked, an emergency? Is it because of the Orthodox Muram Alliance? We already sent letters to the Northern Sea and the main base. That must be why we didn't get a response. Elder Wan sighed and shook his head. The branch leader asked, what is it? Elder Yian explained, oh, I suppose you haven't noticed yet. Kaifeng has been isolated. The branch leader shouted in shock. What? He noticed the woman staring at the adjutant. He thought to himself, why is she suddenly looking at the adjutant? Yuk Simyong bowed. I, the vice leader of the Darkness Sect, Yuk Simyong, offer my greetings to the sect leader. Gu Choyong exclaimed. What? The Darkness Sect? Yuk Simyong explained. Apologies. I could not reveal my identity due to orders from the Demon Lord. Gu Choyong muttered. Haha, wow, Elder Yian said. I had sent the vice leader under the Demon Lord's orders in order to make Kaifeng a new base for the Darkness Sect. Hoo. The branch leader replied. I see. She flipped her fan open. She asked, then, shall we hear the report? Did you send people to the cult, vice leader? Yuk Simyong answered. Yes. I was wondering if I should go there myself, actually. More than half the people I sent have been unresponsive. In less than 5 days, at that. Elder Yian reasoned. It must be the doing of the Muram Alliance's first general strategist, Yu Ba Mareo. He had left our spies alone to manipulate information. For him to do something about them now, must mean that something's going on. She thought to herself, this isn't good. He's the most difficult to deal with. I thought he was focusing on the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect spies. Yuk Simyong asked, sect leader, were you not aware that the Orthodox Muram Alliance has their entire military in action right now? Elder Yian gasped. All of them? I see. They split their army into 2 to head northeast and southeast. So that's why they killed our spies. How dare they? She thought to herself. The forces protecting Jiangnan have not changed or moved. I assume it was so that we wouldn't notice what they were doing. However, if they were messing with our intel network and gathered all of their forces, it seems like the Orthodox Muram Alliance thinks of this as a matter of life and death. Against us? She said aloud. The reason they didn't do anything to Kaifeng is because our cult is the national religion. I assume that's why they only blocked out information. But it's not like they could block it for long. They're trying to get something done in a hurry. The report from the Northern Sea might have been concerning. It seems like Yu Ba Mareo has made a quick decision. She considered the details. Perhaps the death of the Muram Alliance leader's second son has something to do with it, too. Since both his sons have. In any case, I assume it has something to do with the alliance leader that they split their forces into 2. Gu Choyong realized. Wait, that means, the letter I sent to the Northern Sea might have been intercepted as well. Elder Yian smiled. That's why we're here. Don't worry about it. Hoo. I'll have to teach them that petty little tricks like this don't work against me when it comes to a war of intelligence. Back at the Alliance camp, the strategist stood in shock. Mek Yuzhong asked, how did you get in here, cult leader Qian? We blocked off all intel from reaching the Northern Sea. We even had the Blue Heaven Society's help, so how? Even if he's a martial master, there's a limit to how well one can hide their presence. There should have been guards everywhere. How did he? Plus, he appeared out of thin air. What kind of strange sorcery is he using? Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, that was a success. It's the feature I had been wanting to test out the most. It's pretty useful, the narrator explains. Transparency mode turns the user invisible after the locks on the features are undone. Though it is affected by the environment, it helps the user go unnoticed for long if the user is skilled enough. You may be the leader of the alliance, but this is too rude of you. A master warned. Patriarchon, Qian Yo Woon asked. Rude. Who's the one being rude right now? He unleashed a wave of energy that sent the patriarch crashing to the ground. Patriarch groaned. Keu heuk. Huk. The master shouted. Patriarch he thought to himself. Patriarch is at the entry level of the evolutionary realm, yet he went down so easily. Has he obtained more true energy after getting his hands on the dragon turtle's essence core? The patriarch gasped. Kua. How is his true energy so dense? I feel like my body's going to be crushed. The master pleaded. Cult leader Qian, please, stop it. We are allies. You're crossing the line. Qian Yo Woon remained silent and retracted his energy. The patriarch panted. Ha. Ha. The master thought to himself. Much obliged, cult leader Qian. Thank goodness, he's willing to talk this out. Qian Yo Woon said coldly. You're right, we are allies. In that case, I'll resolve personal matters first. Mek Yuzhang looked terrified. The patriarch thought. Personal matters. What are you talking about? The soldiers shouted. Be back. Qian Yo Woon asked Mek Yuzhang. How do you intend to pay the consequences of stealing from me? He struck with his palm and sent Mek flying. Mek screamed. Boy, what are you talking about? What did I do to? Qian Yo Woon said. You think I wouldn't know? You were only at the peak realm when I saw you back then. I mean, you still are, but how are you handling all the lightning chi that's flowing through you? Mek Yuzhang looked shocked. He thought to himself. I dispersed all of the internal energy in my dantian throughout my body to make it look like I have less. Even the alliance leader didn't notice. So how did he? Can he detect it because he, too, took the essence core of the dragon turtle? I won't be an even match to him, even if I were to reverse the dispersion. What do I do? Abbot Gak Yin lunged forward. Amitabha, cult leader Qian, you're taking it too far. Mu Guchen stood in his way. He said, this is our first time meeting. I am the first master of the alliance and the leader of the Shangxi sword sect, Mu Guchen. Please think of our alliance and let us talk about this. Qian Yo Woon sighed. Ha! I'm sick and tired of you bastards using the alliance to try and cover your asses. The masters looked confused. Qian Yo Woon commanded. Move! He unleashed an overwhelming blue aura. Gak Yin thought to himself. His true energy is insane. Mu Guchen and the abbot shouted as they pushed back. Qian Yo Woon smiled. Ooh! Not bad. Mu Guchen struggled. It's getting even stronger. Kook! Gak Yin thought. I'm barely holding on with 10th mastery chi. Mek Yuzhang watched in disbelief. He's managing to push back 2 masters at the evolutionary realm with a formless energy. What kind of nonsense is this? He shouted. Thank you, masters. He thought to himself. I couldn't reverse the dispersion because I'd be vulnerable for a while, but the 2 masters have bought me enough time to do it. Letting your guard down just because I'm weaker than you was your mistake. Die. Mek Yuzhang lunged with his sword. Qian Yo Woon blocked the sharp blade with his bare arm. Mek thought in horror. How did he? He's not even using lightning chi. How was he not electrocuted? Qian Yo Woon said dismissively. How pathetic. He grabbed the sword and smiled. This is lightning chi. He unleashed a massive red bolt of electricity through the sword. Mek Yuzhang screamed. He thought in pain. Oh, why can't I just let the lightning chi pass through me? Kua. I might actually end up dead at this rate. Yo Woon observed him. You're holding up better than I expected. As expected of one who's consumed the dragon turtle's blood. A soldier thought to himself. I need to ambush him to get his hands off the blade. I must save the society leader in order to realize our dreams of creating a world of blue heaven. The soldier shouted. Die. He lunged with his sword, but Yo Woon easily deflected the strike and slammed him into the ground. The soldier groaned. Abbot Gak Yin shouted in alarm. Everyone's going to be in danger at this rate. He prayed. Please forgive me one more time, cult leader Qian. The abbot unleashed a powerful move. Shaolin 72 Fine Arts Dragon Claw. He struck out, but Yo Woon countered him with a precise burst of formless energy. Gak Yin thought in shock. Formless sword. He's able to use such precise techniques while emitting this kind of lightning chi. A soldier yelled. Great master! Mu Guchen thought to himself. Even the abbot of Shaolin looks like a third-rate martial artist when fighting the demonic cult leader. He really is at the life and death realm. He observed the power difference. It's like as if I'm looking at the combative divine. I feel the same overwhelming feeling with cult leader Qian when I first saw the combative divine. Yo Woon stood over the defeated Mek Yuzhang. Mek thought in terror. I have to run. In order to create a world of blue heaven. But my body won't move, Yo Woon said calmly. I'll tie you up for now. Mek asked in confusion. He shouted in fear. Are you? Demonic cult leader. Wait. Yo Woon fired a beam of energy directly into the man's stomach. Mech screamed. He cried out, "My Dantian! My Dantian!" Yo Woon stated, "Since there are a lot of people interrupting, I'll ask you questions later." The soldiers gasped. Cold chi. One man screamed as ice began to crawl up his body. Kua! Mech thought in despair. Just kill me instia. He was completely encased in a block of ice. Abbot Gak Yin thought in wonder. Amitabha. There exists a human who can handle various kinds of true chi. Is the demonic cult leader like the combative divine? A master thought to himself. I never thought he would destroy his Dantian and then trap him in ice. He didn't just make sure that he would never retort, he went above and beyond. He concluded, this man is more dangerous than the combative divine. At least the combative divine hasn't left Shangbai Mountain. If the demonic cult leader wants to, he can completely break the balance between the three forces. Mu Guchen thought to himself. The demonic cult leader is in the center of the Muram Alliance's elites. It might be better to kill him here at the cost of our lives for the sake of the Zhonghu's future. The strategist thought, First Master, we must somehow make the demonic cult leader fight the combative divine. Mu Guchen yelled, if that would have worked, we would have done that much earlier. Moreover, the demonic cult leader already heard our plans on how we were going to do that earlier. He gathered his inner power. Hube, he shouted, cult leader, it might have been possible for you to sneak in here, but... The surrounding soldiers looked on in shock. Mu Guchen asked, do you really think you stand a chance against 500 elite masters of the Orthodox Muram? He signaled for a massive formation of warriors to surround them. A soldier asked in surprise. What? The army outside the tent shouted. The demonic cult leader? The demonic cult leader is here? We came running because we heard screams in the tent, but what were the guards doing? Mu Guchen commanded the group. Martial artists of the Orthodox Muram Alliance, heed my words. As you can see, the demonic cult leader has infiltrated our camp. Are you just going to sit back and watch him do as he pleases? The entire army responded. No, sir. They all charged toward the single man. Yo Woon remained silent. He asked, so this is what you've decided to do? A soldier thought to himself. He doesn't seem worried at all despite having 5,000 martial artists as his enemies. He definitely has the courage it takes to be the head of the demonic cult. Mu Guchen stated, allow me to be frank, cult leader Qian. I do not wish to fight you. He explained, we're simply concerned that you will take yet another mythical creature's essence core. I'm sure you're well aware why. We are still allies. If you promise to give up on the essence core, we will put down our weapons. Yo Woon looked at the thousands of blades pointed at him. Mu Guchen warned, however, if you do decide to fight us, we will fight with our lives. Make your decision. Whether you give up on the mythical creature and choose peace with our alliance or not is your decision. Yo Woon responded. Tama. He suddenly vanished and tore through the enemy ranks with incredible speed. Mu Guchen shouted in shock. A massive shockwave sent the soldiers flying in all directions. Mu Guchen yelled. Shit, he asked. Do you really wish to fight you? The master groaned. Kook. He attempted to strike back. The master gasped. Yo Woon grabbed him by the throat and held him up. Alliance this. Yo Woon replied coldly. Alliance that. He crushed the man's defense with a single strike. Mu Guchen screamed. Yo Woon stated firmly, to hell with your alliance. His eyes glowed with a terrifying red light. He declared, I'm sick of it. Mu Guchen screamed in agony as Qian Yo Woon crushed his defenses. A massive explosion of energy sent Mu Guchen crashing down. The subordinates shouted in shock. See cult leader Qian, the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect is still standing. We shouldn't turn on each other. Yo Woon shouted back. Shut it. He unleashed another wave of energy, knocking more soldiers back. Yo Woon stated firmly, you only care about the alliance when it benefits you. Meanwhile, you guys scheme all kinds of shit behind my back. I don't need you guys to take down the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect. Mu Guchen panted and coughed up blood. Yo Woon declared, that's it for the alliance. A master asked in disbelief. Did he just nullify the alliance? What kind of? Gak Yin thought to himself. Amitabha, it really is over now. Yo Woon asked, how long did you think I'd play along with your manipulative tactics, Orthodox Muram Alliance? A soldier yelled. Kook, he realized in terror. This true energy is ridiculous. Yo Woon warned, I'm sure you're prepared to deal with the consequences of trying to kill me. A master shouted, it's the heavenly flash. Destroy all the weapons you are holding right this instant. Soldiers screamed as their weapons began to vibrate and shatter. The master commanded, more, don't even let fragments remain. Use your chi to turn it into powder. He thought to himself, if it weren't for the heavenly flash, I could deal with you using rotation tactics. Obviously, we had countermeasures prepared for you, cult leader Qian. Yo Woon smiled. I see you're capable of learning. A soldier asked. Oh, what? Cold wind. Another added. This is way colder than what we felt in the tent earlier. Hundreds of ice shards began to form in the air. The soldiers asked. What? The ice is gathering, in the form of swords? The master shouted. Do not be afraid. It's absolutely impossible to use projectile chi with those ice swords. Yo Woon asked. Is it? He commanded. See for yourselves. The narrator explained. No one in the Orthodox Muram Alliance knew that Cheon Yo-un had mastered the cold ice heavenly art and is capable of creating ice that was as durable as cold steel. The ice swords rained down on the army. The soldiers screamed. The master thought to himself. Damn it. This is no different from the battle in the castle of Jin. Now that he's broken the alliance on the spot, cult leader Cheon won't show us mercy anymore. Only a very select few can stop or dodge his projectile chi. It's but a matter of time before everyone here drops dead, but if we kill him, we can stop the massacre from happening. The battle at the castle of Jin was more difficult because everyone was wary of each other, but this is different. The master shouted, kill him, stab his heart or behead him and we win. With him controlling all those ice swords, he's left vulnerable. There is only one enemy, a soldier asked in despair. How? We don't even have weapons, another added. Running into a shower of projectile chi is basically suicide. A third soldier panted. This is bad. Everyone's frozen. They've lost the will to fight because of their fears. Mu Guchen thought to himself. Kua, heroes of Orthodox Muram, he shouted to the army. If you are determined to die, you will live. If you are determined to live, you will die. Do not avoid a battle because you are afraid of death. You will live if you kill the evil demonic cult leader with the resolve to die. A soldier yelled. Master Mu, you still need time to recover. Mu Guchen replied. Don't worry about me, I will lead the way. For the orthodox path, the soldier shouted. Master Mu Guchen thought to himself. Demonic cult leader Cheon Yo-un, you are a terrifying monster. He panted heavily. Kook, the more I deflect his projectile chi, the worse my internal wounds get. But I can't stop, never. Ha! The soldiers cheered. Master Mu, go! Master Mu, behead that monster! Mu Guchen! Mu Guchen! Mu Guchen screamed. Woo-ah! He thought to himself. There is still hope for the Orthodox Muram. I will simply be the one who sets that hope ablaze. If I can become a role model to them with my death, then everyone will gain the courage to join the Ba. He looked at his shattered blade. Mu Guchen thought to himself. My sword is broken, but I have done my best. Is this the end? The other masters suddenly joined him in the charge. Mu Guchen asked. What? Gak Yin announced. We will fight with you. Another master shouted. You can't do something so cool all on your own. A third added. If you're prepared to die, you shall live. Let me fight alongside you. Mu Guchen thought to himself. Are you seeing this, demonic cult leader? When we are in danger, we come together as one. That is the power of the Orthodox Muram. So what if I have no sword? I will fight with the sword finger technique instead. What is important is not giving up. Though my sacrifice alone would have sufficed, let's go. He began his charge toward the demon god. Mu Guchen calculated. For my sword to reach him, I need to be at a distance of at least 3 steps. While he's focused elsewhere, I must approach from the flank and close the gap. He continued his thoughts. While he's using Heavenly Sky Flash, he won't be able to move either, and once I make contact, he will be forced to stop Heavenly Sky Flash before killing me. If that happens, then together with the Alliance's revived fighting spirit, we can kill him. Mu Guchen counted his progress. Just 7 steps ahead, 6 steps, 5 steps, 4 steps, finally, 3 steps. Master Hong yelled in worry. Do we wait, Master Mu? It's too dangerous to go alone. Mu Guchen thought. Master Hong, make sure to tell my family how this master met his end. Mu Guchen shouted. Master Mu. Cheon Yo-woon looked at him coldly. You brought this on yourselves, yet you play this act of tragedy so earnestly. Mu Guchen gasped. Cheon Yo-woon grabbed his target and squeezed. Mu Guchen screamed. You! Ah! Master Hong was in disbelief. No, how can this be? He didn't stop Heavenly Sky Flash? He charged forward. This monster! Cheon Yo-woon struck the master. He groaned. You! Master Hong panted. My Dantian, Cheon Yo-woon said. You're not allowed to fall just yet. He struck the master down. Another warrior shouted. Create distance, now. Cheon Yo-woon asked. Where to? The warrior panicked. To this guy, damn it. You! Ice spikes erupted from the ground, trapping the warriors. Cheon Yo-woon wondered to himself. Is the tragedy over now? A warrior groaned. You! Mu Guchen trembled in horror. With this isn't right. We were supposed to die. Are we meant to watch them die instead? He pleaded. Cult leader, just kill me instead. How dare you trample on the pride and sacrifice of a warrior in this way? Qian Yo Woon smiled. Sacrifice, you say? He clenched his fist and stopped his technique. A master wondered. He stopped? Has his internal energy dropped? Another responded. No, that can't be. He used Sky Flash for over an hour in Jinsung. Mu Guchen shouted. Cult leader, I don't know what you're scheming, but if you're thinking of restoring the alliance, then this alliance. Qian Yo Woon interrupted. You talk too much. He struck Mu Guchen again. The old man cried out. You! A soldier yelled. Master Mu, you vicious demon, how dare you do this to one who can't even resist? Qian Yo Woon remarked. Since you all are so eager to sacrifice yourselves, I can't just ignore your resolve. The soldier asked. Oh, what do you mean by that? Qian Yo Woon smiled. I'll give you a chance. The soldiers looked on in confusion. Qian Yo Woon addressed the crowd. Warriors of the Martial Artists Alliance, I do not believe that all of you moved with the same heart and mind. The soldiers murmured. Mu Guchen groaned. Just what is he trying to do? Qian Yo Woon explained. The leaders here had several opportunities, yet they still sought to harm my life and the lives of my followers. I don't wear the mask of a saintly gentleman like you. Those who target me, I eradicate them thoroughly, down to the root, to eliminate any future trouble. He continued. However, since your leaders are volunteering themselves for sacrifice, I'll make an exception this time and give you guys a chance. I'd rather not leave future troubles, but I'm not a bloodthirsty killer either. I don't wish to slaughter thousands. The warriors whispered among themselves. He says he doesn't wish to slaughter? Is it that the demon cult leader extending a hand right now? A leader shouted. No, we can't let him sway us like this. Cult leader, do you really think your words will easily divide the warriors of this alliance? Qian Yo Woon responded calmly. There's no need for me to divide you. The choice I'm offering is very simple. The leaders and the ordinary warriors just need to coordinate and choose. A warrior yelled. You cowardly cult leader, what do you mean there's no division? Another added. He's trying to buy us off by pitting the leaders' lives against the remaining warriors, isn't he? This kind of threat will only unite our alliance even more. The master yelled. How laughable, cult leader. Do you really think your cheap tricks will make this alliance sacrifice each other? Qian Yo Woon smiled. You misunderstand severely. The choice is simple. If you are willing to exchange the lives of the families of the leaders here for the lives of the ordinary warriors, I will spare everyone present. The crowd gasped. Mu Guchen shouted. Our families and the lives of ordinary warriors, is he forcing us to weigh them against each other? A leader stammered. Oh, what? You're telling us to sacrifice our own families? That's utterly absurd. The ordinary warriors turned their gaze toward their masters. Qian Yo Woon stated, if what you speak of is really sacrifice, shouldn't it carry at least this much weight? Great Master Gak Yian thought to himself. If he had simply made the leaders' lives the bargaining chip, everyone might have united and chosen to fight to the end. But choosing to fight now in this situation would mean sacrificing the ordinary warriors just to save their masters' families. He panted. Amitabha, he is cunning to a terrifying degree. As a monk who has renounced the world, this humble monk and Master Gak Yian and Lord Hong have no families, but if the others say something careless, it could lead to disaster. The leader thought to himself. The voluntary will of its members formed this alliance. They are not soldiers who obey commands absolutely. Without a just cause, we cannot force death upon them. An ordinary warrior gritted his teeth. You who call yourselves masters, why do you not say a single word? Are your own families so important to you that you'd rather let us die? He shouted. You all spoke of sacrificing together for righteousness, but it was all just empty words, wasn't it? In the end, was it all just hypocrisy? Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Those who claim to uphold righteousness wield it only when convenient, and abandon loyalty so easily. It's sickening to the point of disgust. It seems the rot in old organizations is no different between our cult's 6 major sects and them. He spoke aloud. It seems you cannot reach an answer. Giving you any more time is a waste. He levitated into the air as ice swords gathered behind him. The soldiers looked up in terror. Qian Yo Woon declared. It seems the leaders have chosen their own families over you. As fellow warriors of the righteous path, I hope you will respect their choice. A soldier shouted in desperation. Stop, cult leader Qian. Why should we sacrifice ourselves for their family members? Another added. That's right, our families are just as important. The soldier asked. Who will take care of our families if we're gone? A leader shouted. Comrades, don't fall for the demonic cult leader's wicked plan. He's just trying to drive a wedge between us. If we divide like this, we're playing right into his hands. We must unite our strength to defeat this agent of evil. A soldier barked. Do you think we're fools? Of course we know he's trying to divide us. But look at us. While the leaders waste time claiming they'll sacrifice themselves for righteousness, it's the innocent regular members who are dying from the heavenly light. Mu Guchen thought in shock. The damage that regular warriors suffer compared to the damage that the leaders suffer. Could it be he deliberately targeted this to cause division between us and the alliance members? Qian Yo Woon smiled. A soldier asked, why did we even attempt to face the demonic god in the first place? We have no weapons, and even the leaders don't stand a chance. With no martial arts to counter the heavenly light, aren't we just being sent to die? He shouted at the leaders. Why demand sacrifice only from us? If you truly consider us comrades, isn't it time for the leaders to make sacrifices? Are only your family members important? If you count all the alliance members and their families, many more lives are at stake. So why are the leaders and sect leaders just watching silently? A monk sighed. Sigh, how could they fall for such a shallow trick? In the same situation, anyone would hesitate just the same. A leader shouted, are you saying we should kill our innocent family members? How can you utter such irresponsible words so easily? A soldier retorted, that's right. What about you who are shifting all responsibility to us? You're no better since you won't even mention sacrificing yourselves for the leaders' families. Great Master Gak Yin panted. Ah, Amitabha, he thought to himself. Those words should never have been spoken. A soldier yelled. HMPH. Did everyone hear that? How can we trust such people and uphold justice? Cult leader Qian, we cannot sacrifice ourselves for the leaders. A man shouted. I'm Go from the Kongsan Li family. I feel the same way. A woman added. I'm a Rang from the Yin family manor. I also have no intention of sacrificing myself for them. Another yelled. I'm called Galgong. I agree. Gak Yin whispered. Abbess Jungxian. Clan leader Hong. Hong answered. There's no way to change our comrades' minds, so we have no choice. Shameful as it is, our only option now is to flee. I'm sorry, Abbess Jungxian. Gak Yin thought to himself. The demonic cult leader has already destroyed my Dantian. He probably won't take this feeble life as well. I hope you survive somehow. Amitabha, a leader shouted. I, Baekchan of the Middle Path faction, also agree with our comrades. Why should only we sacrifice? How can we fight amongst ourselves, falling for the demonic cult leader's trap? Gak Yin announced. As the second leader, I speak on behalf of the commander-in-chief. I hereby order an immediate retreat. The soldiers were surprised. Retreat? Gak Yin screamed. You don't need to maintain formation. Comrades of our alliance, run quickly toward the escape route. A soldier wondered. Are they really running away now? And they're the leaders of all people? A leader gritted his teeth. Pride and humiliation don't matter anymore. We must escape from here somehow and protect our families. A soldier yelled. Follow the sect leaders. Qian Yo Woon watched the chaos. Retreat from this place surrounded by mountains on 3 sides. You're making the worst possible move. Gak Yin shouted. Scatter and flee. We must survive by getting as far away as possible from the heavenly light. Leader Peng thought bitterly. Demonic cult leader. Someday I will surely avenge this humiliation. Peng stopped suddenly as he reached the pass. What's wrong, Leader Peng? Peng muttered. Damn it. As I thought, he didn't come alone. Marakim and the 6 Swords troop stood in their way. Peng thought in despair. There is no way the Death King and elite subordinates will let their guard down. He observed the new arrivals. The silver-haired man on the right and those wearing fur clothes. Are they members of the North Sea Ice Palace? I don't know why they're together, but the martial aura emanating from that silver-haired man is extraordinary. Peng looked at another figure. Who is that bitch? She seems to have strong martial prowess, but there are few troops around her. She looks vulnerable, so I should target her to create an escape route. He commanded, follow me. He charged toward the woman. Huh? That side? Oh my, he must be desperate to die. Peng's sword was blocked with ease. He shouted in shock. But how could a young bitch block my sword so easily? The woman asked coldly. What? Young bitch? She swung her blade with incredible speed. Peng's head was severed instantly. A leader screamed. Patriarch Peng, he thought in horror. How could the 17th leader fall so pathetically? The woman looked down at the body. I've lived longer than you, brat. The Ice Palace warriors attacked. A soldier panicked. Half my body is frozen. Where did such a monster come from? The silver-haired man stated. I'm sorry to say this to former allies, but no one will pass through here alive. A soldier realized. They were lying in ambush along our retreat path. They deliberately didn't block us from running away. To think this natural stronghold would become our grave, it was their choice. Instead of choosing their comrades and allies, they tried to save only their families. Now all we can hope is that demonic cult leader Qian Yo Woon keeps his promise. A man kneeled and pleaded. I am Seong Jinyoung, Outer Hall leader of the Zhonghua Yu sect, cult leader Qian. We have accepted your proposal. I don't believe a hero like yourself would break your promise. Cult leader Qian, why haven't you removed all the ice swords? Qian Yo Woon replied. Don't worry, I'll keep my promise. Hyobong and others arrived carrying heavy boxes. Hyobong reported, Adjutant Hyobong has brought those items as you ordered, my lord. Qian Yo Woon said, good work, we went through all that trouble to procure them, but it seems we won't need 2 boxes. A soldier asked, ooh, what is this? Black pills. Qian Yo Woon commanded, everyone take one and then descend the mountain. The soldier asked in fear, what is this exactly? See, could it be poison? Qian Yo Woon answered bluntly, it is. The soldier shouted, see, cult leader Qian, you clearly said you would spare us. Why are you trying to restrict us by making us take poison pills? This is contrary to your promise, Qian Yo Woon asked back. Contrary to my promise? Hyobong smiled, I don't see the problem. Qian Yo Woon grinned maliciously. I am sparing your lives, aren't I? The narrator explained. The Muram Alliance's encampment, surrounded by mountain ranges on 3 sides. A woman sobbed. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry, the narrator explained. After enduring a fierce battle, this place was stained with blood from over 2,800 corpses. Among the bodies in this swamp of corpses were the remains of the leadership, except for 6 sex leaders. Qian Yo Woon and his grandfather stood overlooking the field of bodies. The grandfather remained silent. Great Master Gak Yian spoke to him. Thank you for showing mercy to Shaolin out of respect for this old man's wishes. The grandfather observed, there was more bloodshed than I expected. Gak Yian explained, even when cornered, it's only natural for a warrior to resist humiliation. He continued, about 600 people died fighting after refusing to take the poison pill. They probably didn't want to hold back their family members with the poison pills. Grandfather thought to himself, Yo Woon's methods seem particularly cruel. Is this the influence of the muscle change classic he learned from Venerable Gujung? Yo Woon stated, the choice was theirs. There's no reason to release those who refused to take the poison pill. I was planning to kill them all from the beginning anyway, the narrator explained. 2 days earlier, in the Heavenly Demonic Divine Cult's meeting tent. Right after Qian Yo Woon discovered that the Muram Alliance was planning to pit him against the combat god. Jiggle pleaded, I beg of you, please spare their lives. Yo Woon replied coldly, this is not for a prisoner like you to interfere with. Leave, Jiggle argued. Most of them were forced onto the battlefield by their leaders, against their own will. Regardless of whether they're orthodox or demonic, shouldn't we reduce meaningless sacrifices? Marakim commanded, it seems you've forgotten your place as a prisoner after his lordship graciously allowed you to move about freely. Guards, confine this prisoner at once. Jiggle shouted, please, listen to what I have to say. If cult leader Qian would show even a bit of mercy, I can divide them and make them surrender without much bloodshed. Yo Woon asked, oh, you have a strategy to benefit our cult? Jiggle explained, I'm not asking you to spare everyone. Please, at least spare those who surrender. I beg you, cult leader Qian, with my life on the line. Yo Woon asked, you'll make them surrender? Jiggle answered, yes. She thought to herself, from what I've observed, cult leader Qian shows no mercy to his enemies. I need to at least prevent major casualties as a second best option. Yo Woon said, very well, let me hear what you have to say. He thought to himself, not a bad proposal. If we do as she suggests, it will inevitably create division among the orthodox sects. An interesting strategy. However, even those orthodox sects members who surrender and survive will still pose a future threat. I reject your request. Take her away. Jiggle cried out. See cult leader Qian. Grandfather asked, Yo Woon, can we speak privately for a moment? They walked to the edge of a cliff. Grandfather stated, this old man would like you to reconsider that child's words. Yo Woon replied, the Muram Alliance has repeatedly squandered the opportunities I've given them. They deployed a large army near Mount Changbai with the intention of annihilating me and the 6 swords. Further mercy would be meaningless. Grandfather pointed out, as the Jiggle child said, some of them didn't come of their own volition. Besides, Yo Woon, do you aspire to unify the martial arts world? Yo Woon looked surprised. Grandfather explained, killing all your enemies won't achieve unification. If you try to rule through force alone, problems will continuously arise. Isn't it said that a ruler's virtue includes dispensing rewards and punishments differently? True unification comes from subjugating and governing them all. Yo Woon answered, I don't intend to blindly kill my enemies and walk the path of tyranny either. I simply ensure that those who point their swords at me and target me pay the appropriate price. He added, The reason you're talking in circles like this is because of your connection to Venerable Gujung, your colleague from the Hidden Forest, isn't it? Grandfather responded. Thanks. Yo Woon said. I understand. With your advice, I'll show them a small measure of mercy. However, I'll add one thing to her strategy. Grandfather asked. One thing? Indeed, the surviving Orthodox sect's members have taken the poison pill, so they won't rashly dream of revenge. This should be warning enough for the Muram Alliance. A survivor looked at a burning pyre in silence. Grandfather asked, Now you'll head to Mount Changbai? Yo Woon replied, Yes, we must obtain the Wind White Tiger's core before the Six Blades Martial School. The narrator explained, Eastern region of Shaanxi Province. Sir Wang Hole shouted in a rage. Damn the Muram Alliance. They've sent forces not just to Mount Changbai but to Mount Wangshen as well. A subordinate asked, How did they discover our main base's location? Wang Hole replied, That's unknown, but it's not what matters right now. The report says the enemy numbers a staggering 20,000. The 4,000 disciples remaining at our base won't be enough to defend it. If we lose that place, our grand plan could be ruined. He continued, By now, Sir Blade Lord should be crossing Shaanxi Province with our elite forces. The Wind White Tiger's core is important, but our main base is more urgent. Let's hurry. A messenger arrived shouting, Grand Elder, Sir Wang Hole, where is Sir Blade Lord? Our base at Mount Wangshen is under attack by the Muram Alliance. We need to inform him as quickly as possible, the Grand Elder explained. Don't worry, Sir Blade Lord has already received the urgent message from Mount Wangshen and headed to our base there alone 4 days ago. Wang Hole asked in shock, alone? Then why have you two Grand Elders come here? If you received the urgent message, you must have known the base was in danger, the Grand Elder chuckled. Ho ho ho, we're on our way to Mount Changbai by Sir Blade Lord's order. Wang Hole asked. Mount Changbai? The Grand Elder stated. Sir Blade Lord said he would join us soon, so we should just follow his orders. The narrator explained. Around the same time at Mount Wangshen in Hangzhou, Zhejiang Province. The Alliance army bombarded the fortress with arrows. Li Mok commanded, Keep pushing forward. Don't spare arrows, fire with full force. He thought to himself, If we push hard like this, we should be able to capture it by tonight. He shouted as he leapt into the fray. The defenders groaned. A subordinate said, How formidable. You've transformed the entire mountain into a fortress, Alliance leader. They won't hold out for long. Li Mok explained, The formation experts from the Yeagle family said they can disable the entrance mechanisms in just 4 hours, so it won't be long. After recapturing this place tonight, we'll set up an ambush. If all goes according to plan, we can deal with both the Six Blades Martial School and the demonic god within half a month. He addressed his men, warriors of the Muram Alliance. Let us win this battle today and lay the cornerstone for justice. The army roared. Wah! A master cried out. Li Mok watched the battle. Even though their elites are gone, there are still some master-level experts mixed in. I can't let my guard down, a mysterious voice asked. So you're the leader of the Muram Alliance. Li Mok looked around in alarm. He thought in horror. I was focused on the battle but hadn't lowered my guard. Yet I, one of the 5 strongest, couldn't detect the approach of this person? He shouted, Who are you? The masked man replied, It's been a while since someone dared to point a sword at me from this distance. Li Mok screamed in agony. Aor! The warriors shouted in fear. Peng Wangju! Li Mok struggled to breathe as blood pooled around him. He thought to himself, was that the formless blade? To think he could pulverize dozens of yards with a single gesture, what immense power! He asked weakly, Who exactly are you? The man replied with a smirk. I am the one who stands at the apex of all blades. The narrator explained. Near Zhongbek Mountain, the cult members rode toward the peak. Grandfather thought to himself, The story I heard from Master Guchen just before we parted ways has been bothering me. Master Guchen spoke in his memory. Amitabha, since the Shaolin monks were all safe thanks to Lord Qian's generosity, I must repay him. He warned, Lord Qian, Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god, who is in Zhongbek Mountain, is a monster. The Muram Alliance's elites all fell in a single move. He didn't even use a technique. The reason the alliance aimed for mutual destruction between Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god, and the demon god wasn't because they underestimated the demon god. The narrator explained. Master Guchen was a seeker monk from Silver Grove. Guchen continued, As a member of the Muram Alliance, I would wish for a monster like sect leader Qian to be defeated, but, as a comrade of the Silver Grove, I pray that my grandson doesn't engage in a reckless fight, Amitabha. He explained his observation. And it might not be the case, but that day, it felt like Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god. He behaved as if he was trying to protect us from something. Grandfather wondered. Protect? Guchen explained. Rather than stopping us from entering Changbai Mountain, it was like preventing people from approaching a place where wild beasts reside. When we retreated, I felt an intense killing intent, and everyone thought it was Ark Wui's, but this humble monk felt a strong sense of unfamiliarity. Grandfather thought to himself, the ultimate realm desired by those who pursue martial arts is to exert maximum power with minimum movement. If Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god, displayed such martial prowess, so I'm sure he must have reached the pinnacle of martial arts. At that level, it would be no exaggeration to call him the strongest under the heavens, not just one of the 5 great masters. He looked at Qian Yo Woon. He thought to himself, but even after hearing this, he remains unshaken. Is it to keep me from worrying, or is it because he has the power to handle the Eastern caste god? Either way, if Master Guchun's words are true, then Ark Wui will surely try to stop us from entering Changbai Mountain. Ultimately, I'll have no choice but to confront him somehow. Hyobong pointed. Ah, Changbai Mountain is in sight. He asked excitedly. They say there's a sacred lake at the top of Changbai Mountain that touches the sky. Is it true? Ko Wanghul muttered. Stop being so dramatic, Hyobong. Moying stated. From here on, I don't know much either. Qian Yo Woon observed the mountain. He thought to himself. Just as the rumors said, a rich spiritual energy is certainly radiating out. It would be suitable for internal energy training. However, I don't feel any energy that suggests that it's Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god, yet. I'll know once I go further in. He commanded. Advance. Charge. Moying thought in terror. Damn it. Grandfather warned me not to go. To think I'd end up here like this. I just have to hope I can get out safely. Hyobong asked. Speaking of which, the dragon turtle had a dragon's head and a turtle's shell for a body. Then would the wind white tiger be a tiger with white fur? Ko Wanghul answered. Probably, wouldn't it? Hyobong imagined the creature. Somehow, with wind in its name, it feels like it might have wings. The horses suddenly reared up in panic. A cult member yelled. Teach the horses. Marakim thought. It's as if the entire forest is trembling in fear. What kind of killing intent could be this overwhelming? The killing intent is so intense it's engulfing everything around us. Those with weak martial arts would be frozen in terror. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. As expected, he appeared. Where is he? The killing intent is too dense to pinpoint his exact location, but why would he do this to people he's never met? Grandfather looked at Yo Woon's face. He thought to himself. Yo Un's expression. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. It's an aura that wild beasts would emit, not humans. I can't even guess the extent of his martial prowess. He warned the group. He's coming. A beam of energy crashed into the center of their group. Grandfather shouted. Oh, what immense power. Sect leader. Qian Yo Woon blocked a blade strike with his arm. He thought to himself. Is this a blade? Seeing that it's single-edged, it's clearly a blade, but its appearance is different from what's used in the Central Plains Murum. Furthermore, this person's strength is extraordinary. He possesses physical abilities that rival mine in pure external martial arts. The attacker spoke. Oh ho, I'm lucky, yes. It was worth moving faster than that bastard. Qian Yo Woon asked. What is he saying? It doesn't sound like the language of the Central Plains, Nano. It is judged to be Korean, although heavily mixed with another dialect. Qian Yo Woon repeated in surprise. Korean, Nano explained. It is the language of a country located on a peninsula east of the Central Plains continent. Qian Yo Woon ordered. First, quickly transfer the language. The attacker thought to himself. Before that transforming bastard comes, I need to kill them all quickly, Qian Yo Woon asked. Are you Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god? The man looked startled. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Is the man a Goryeo person? Goryeo? Is that the name of the country on the Eastern Peninsula that Nano mentioned? The man laughed. Indeed. A Goryeo person wouldn't crawl up from the north like a rat. Now then, Qian Yo Woon asked again. Are you Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god? We are not here to fight you. The man struck the ground, creating a massive crater. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. What an incredible swift blade. If I had taken my eyes off him, I would have definitely been hit. The man smirked. You re the first man, besides that bastard, to block my blade twice. But you know what? He struck Qian Yo Woon again with incredible speed. He thought to himself. What? Rebounding energy. No, it was innate true energy. Like a very sharp wind, the man stated. Men like you misunderstand something, you see. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. What is his true identity? He seems completely different from Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god, that Master Guchun spoke of. The man commanded. When you meet your comrade who went to the underworld before you, tell him exactly what I said. He leapt high into the air. Grandfather cried out in horror. No way. The man summoned a massive vortex of wind. He announced, "This isn't Changbai Mountain, but it's Baekdu Mountain." The narrator explained. Changbai Mountain. A man in a straw hat sat in meditation by the water. He sensed a change in the air. He muttered to himself, "Wind from the north." He observed the waves. The true chi is strong enough to affect even Heaven Lake. He stood up. I had been wary of the west, but instead, he looked toward the mountain pass. He headed that way ahead of me. He must have been really ready for this. He thought to himself, that's strange. He didn't use the power of the wind when he dealt with previous invaders, he wondered. Is someone that strong trying to get in? He narrowed his eyes. This 10-year oath might be dangerous. He concluded, if I don't manage to stop him, Changbai Mountain might be painted in blood once again. A massive vortex of wind and energy tore through the terrain. Qian Yo Woon observed the storm. Very sharp chi is imbued into those gusts of wind. Plus, the gusts of wind and the mist from the clouds are coming together. A leader shouted. Scatter! Get away from the tornado! The warriors responded. Yes, sir. A man struggled with his horse. And no, I can't go forward because of the wind. A warrior yelled. Get off your horses! The man screamed as the wind lifted him. Shit! He panted. The wind alone is hard enough to deal with, but now the horses are getting swept away. Mu Gutchen asked, how long are you guys planning to stand and watch? He pointed forward. We just need to stop the person harnessing the wind. Shoot! The warriors launched their projectile attacks into the cyclone. The white-haired attacker laughed. He mocked them. Kukik, how stupid. He unleashed a blast of wind that sent the warriors flying. One man screamed. Mu Gutchen groaned. We just ended up making the tornado a lot stronger. Moon Gyu was swept off her feet. Kaya, she felt a hand grab her waist. She looked up. She asked. Demon Lord. Yo Woon spoke calmly. This isn't looking too good. You should be careful. She blushed. Oh, thank you, he commanded. Distance yourself from the tornado. She replied. Okay. A human creating a tornado? How can this be possible? He watched the scale of the power. This isn't martial arts anymore. This is a natural disaster. The grandfather shouted, Great Guardian, we have to stop the man creating this wind. I'll help. The attacker watched them approach. The attacker deflected their combined strikes effortlessly. The grandfather thought to himself, how is he able to deflect everything? I'm putting my all into one sword, and yet it's still not enough? Marakim groaned as he was pushed back. The attacker shouted, you fuckers really think you can pierce through my wind? The grandfather panted, Keuheuk. He thought in shock. The true chi connected and gave me an internal wound. No, the fragments of the broken blade. Yo Woon used his chi to stop the flying shards in midair. The grandfather observed. The Demon Lord stopped them. A warrior cheered. Thank you, Demon Lord. Yo Woon watched the storm. It's strong enough to stop chi sword control? I need to find another way. He looked at the attacker. Huh? That sword. It got through? He cheered. It wore. He gasped in surprise. Ah! The attacker parried the strike with a surge of energy. Tisk! He thought to himself. The true chi was cut off as soon as I made it in. Yo Woon walked forward and countered the wind with a massive wall of ice. How did you do that? Did you use enhanced energy? He called out. Demon Lord. No, I used both enhanced energy and cold chi. Cold chi. Cold can pierce through that tornado? The attacker grinned at them. Yo Woon watched the man. He thought to himself. In that case, this might work. If you plan to use the ice sword art, you must be careful. The moment you enter the whirlwind, your chi will be cut off. Yo Woon thought to himself. So that whirlwind is chi imbued with the wind attribute. He asked, Nano, how exactly did that whirlwind form? Nano explained. Technically, it cannot be fully explained, but the principle is similar to a normal tornado. A combination of a cold, high-speed downdraft from the clouds and a hot updraft from the ground surface creates the phenomenon. Yo Woon asked, if it's updraft, is it closer to heat? Nano answered, it can be understood as a high-temperature energy phenomenon. Yo Woon asked, how can it be stopped? Nano replied, if you can control one of the two air currents, you can stop the whirlwind. Yo Woon thought to himself, all right, that's worth a try. The attacker shouted, just keep watching. I'll crush you all to death. He noticed Yo Woon approaching. The attacker thought to himself. What a foolish man. Not even that newborn kid could block my whirlwind head on. If you want to be crushed along with them, suit yourself. Kakeke. Yo Woon unleashed his power. The attacker gasped. Cold energy? He thought in disbelief. A human body can handle this level of cold energy? A power that goes beyond the human realm. Seeing this mysteriously chilling energy, you must have obtained a spirit beast's core. He snarled. You damn bastard. I don't know what you're scheming, but I'll crush you all before you can pull any tricks. Ko Wanghul observed. The whirlwind is speeding up, and the cold energy wrapped around it is spreading in all directions. Moon Gyu yelled, "Be careful, cult leader." Yo Woon controlled hundreds of ice shards. The attacker thought in shock. He's controlling this many ice swords simultaneously? How does a bastard like him have such power? Yo Woon commanded, "I'll pull you out from inside the whirlwind." The attacker gasped. This can't be." The whirlwind began to weaken. The attacker thought to himself, "This damn bastard, where did he learn such a method? It's becoming harder to spin the wind. The heat rising from the ground is cooling down." Yo Woon panted. "Who?" he thought to himself. "It's incredibly draining, resisting the whirlwind while constantly creating shattered ice swords. The chi consumption is enormous." The attacker roared, "To break my whirlwind, will you damn bastard?" Craw! The tornado exploded. Yo Woon declared, "Now it's my turn." The attacker's eyes turned red. They clashed with blinding speed. The attacker spat, "You arrogant bastard, getting all cocky just because you got rid of a whirlwind?" Yo Woon observed, "What are those eyes? Is it the reverse blood demonic art?" "No, it's different. This is closer to a ferocious, wild nature." Blocking the cult leader's right sword left blade, and that's not a saber technique from the Central Plains. Who is this man, really? Grandfather thought to himself, but something's strange. I heard the Challenger God doesn't use weapons. Could he not be the Challenger God? Someone wielding such refined martial arts? Yo Woon wondered, what kind of saber technique is he using? He analyzed the moves. It's completely different from Central Plains saber techniques. It's not about blending multiple stances. Each stance itself is a one-strike kill technique, the attacker growled. "You bastard, you're really annoying. If you were a normal human, you'd have 4 holes in your body by now." Yo Woon thought, but this technique feels familiar somehow. I've definitely seen it somewhere before. He realized, if I give even a slight opening, he instantly targets my vital points, leaving me no time to think. For now, I just have to subdue this man. The attacker's speed increased. Yo Woon thought to himself. He got faster? My skill level is definitely higher. But every time a crisis hits, this man escapes danger with incredible dynamic vision. It's as if his sword's intent flows with the wind. In that case, let's go at the same time. The attacker twisted his arm into a bizarre stance. Yo Woon thought in surprise. Twisting his arm back from that stance? And even launching a counterattack like that? It's not like he has eyes on the back of his head, yet he simultaneously evaded and blocked his head and lower back. The attacker shouted in a rage. "Damn it, you son of a b! Try blocking this one too." He launched a massive rotating wind strike. Hyobong yelled, "Cult leader." The attacker mocked, "Hey, you bastard, you really are a nuisance." Yo Woon wiped blood from his face. He thought, what truly beast-like senses. This is the first opponent to block the right sword left blade directly and even counterattack. Moon Gyu asked in worry. Who the hell is he to push the cult leader this far? Hyobong wondered, but wasn't the Challenger God said to fight barehanded? Maybe, he isn't the Eastern caste god after all. Yo Woon prepared his stance. The right sword left blade and the heavenly demon sword art aren't enough. The attacker asked, "What are you doing? Don't you need both hands just to keep up?" Yo Woon replied, "No." He unleashed a massive surge of dark energy. He announced, "From now on, I'll face you seriously." Moon Gyu shouted, "See cult leader." The air surrounding him has completely changed, Marakim thought to himself. No matter how many times I see it, it's terrifyingly demonic, enough to make even my skin crawl. The attacker stared in shock. You haven't just taken one spirit beast. Moreover, you're even trying to ascend to the heavenly master realm. The attacker thought to himself. This bastard, he suddenly got faster? This damn bastard, he is really asking for it. I'll crush you to death. Yo Woon struck him with a blindingly fast sequence. The attacker screamed in agony. Moon Gyu wondered, to subdue that beast-like man in an instant. Grandfather thought to himself. It's similar to the heavenly demon sword art, but the way he holds the grip and technique are different. That opening stance, could it be demonic god sword art? Yo Woon landed and thought to himself. He blocked my first move, but the remaining 23 moves pierced every vital point. Good dynamic vision alone won't be enough to evade this attack. With all his vital points pierced, he should be dead. He sensed something and turned. Oh, what is this? This ferocious killing intent. He looked at the attacker's wounds. The vital points I pierced are rapidly regenerating? It's almost as fast as Nano's self-repair. The soldiers murmured. His body is regenerating. Is he a monster? The attacker growled and forced himself up. You bastard. You finally managed to make me fight seriously, as I hoped. Yo Woon analyzed him. The reverse blood demonic art? No, it's different. He's trying to transform into something else. Not a human, but into something else. I have to stop him before his body fully transforms. He lunged forward. If even the opening moves of the demonic god's sword art can't kill him, then I have no choice but to behead him in one stroke. A massive pillar of energy erupted from the ground. The attacker groaned as a heavy foot slammed into him. Yo Woon looked at the new person who had intervened. He thought to himself, the pressure must have been immense, yet he withstood it. Who is that man with the bamboo hat? He's strong. He isn't holding any weapon, but the martial aura emanating from him is chilling. He feels closer to the pure essence of martial arts than the opponent I faced earlier. Yo Woon asked, could it be that you are the Eastern caste god? He braced himself as the man struck. Damn, Moon Gyu cried out. See, cult leader, the narrator explained. A moment ago, the man in the bamboo hat thought to himself, how is he still holding his ground? That guy's spiritual power must be at its peak, and not only that, he has been honing the greatest martial arts of the Eastern Peninsula for nearly 120 years. We've clashed once every 10 years, I know exactly how strong he is. He continued his thoughts. If someone can stand against a being who should have ascended long ago like this, they must be someone close to the pinnacle of martial arts, just like me. Could it be that he has reappeared? He watched the fight from a distance. No, it's not him. But how can that fellow push him this far? I see. That ominous, ferocious energy. He must have absorbed a spirit beast's domain. If someone who absorbed a spirit beast's energy invaded MT Changbai, then they only have one goal. To target the White Wind Tiger's core. In that case, I absolutely cannot let him live. The man struck the ground, creating a massive crater. He thought to himself, I used the Void Fist twice, yet his energy hasn't diminished at all. No, it's actually rising instead. The formless sword? Did he block my fist with that? He spoke to Yo Woon. It's been 20 years since someone blocked my fist twice. You must be a master of the life and death realm. You're no different. Yo Woon thought to himself. To unleash fist strikes powerful enough to distort space itself, he must have undoubtedly reached the pinnacle of the life and death realm. Until now, strengthening my strong energy with heavenly demonic energy was enough, but creating a formless sword to defend, that's a first. The warriors murmured, Dave, thank goodness. The cult leader is unharmed. But who is he? Grandfather panted in shock. It's certain. That man is Ark Wui, the Eastern caste god. Such a martial master exists. Marakim thought. Only the demon lord is capable of putting up a fight against a monster like him. He observed. The combat divine. His martial prowess makes me look incomparable to him despite me being at the mystic realm. The demon lord possesses the title, demon god, meaning this duel is between two people with the god title. A massive explosion of blue and red energy collided. A soldier yelled. You! A warrior asked in horror. How is true chi this strong? Another gasped. I can't breathe. Qian Yo Woon spoke calmly to the white-haired man. Seeing as you've attacked me twice in a row in such a manner, I assume you don't want to talk? The combat divine stared silently at the white-haired man. The attacker groaned. Kiek. The man struggled to move and muttered. Yua, the combat divine commanded. It was you that tried to break the oath first. Go back right now. The white-haired man snarled. As if you think I'm gonna do as you saw, he began to cough up blood. He thought to himself, what? Was I internally wounded by that fucker's punch? No, my wound hasn't completely healed yet. He looked at Qian Yo Woon and narrowed his eyes. He thought bitterly. I knew it. You fucker. You managed to absorb that tainted mythical creature's essence core. Yo Woon thought to himself. Tainted? Is he talking about the heavenly demon Chi? He asked. What do you mean, tainted? He shouted. Don't play dumb. Stop, he warned. If you don't take your hand off my shoulder right now, I'm going to break your fucking wrist. The combat divine intervened. If you don't calm yourself down right now, you'll be breaking the oath. Do you not care? The white-haired man panted and hesitated. He eventually stepped back and grumbled. Goddamned fucker, he whispered to Yo Woon. I swear I'm gonna kill you. Yo Woon stomped the ground. Massive glaciers erupted from the earth. The white-haired man gasped. Glaciers? Yo Woon asked. Who said I'm gonna let you go? The white-haired man growled. You think that ice alone is enough to stop me? He struck the ice with his blade. He realized in shock. What is this? My sword bounced off? Eek, he thought to himself. How can ice be this tough? It's completely different from the ice earlier. That fucker. I know that he managed to absorb the essence core, but is he really human? He continued his thoughts. I don't think I can break through this unless I transform into my original form. Plus, that fucker's attack from earlier is getting in the way of my chi circulation. Should I just push it and destroy everything? Yo Woon declared. I thought I said I wasn't gonna let you go. He created a massive red blade of energy. The white-haired man was terrified. Sharp chi? Yo Woon struck down. The man held his hand up to block. Yo Woon thought in disbelief. He's blocking my formless sword with his bare hand? The combat divine moved forward and struck the ground with a powerful blow. Yo Woon thought to himself. The cold chi connecting me to the glaciers have been cut off. Did he realize in that short period of time that I need to keep imbuing it with cold chi in order to maintain the toughness of the ice? The combat divine looked at the white-haired man and ordered. Hurry! The man vanished. He muttered. TCH. Yo Woon shouted. No! He tried to follow, but the combat divine launched a punch directly at him. Yo Woon braced for the impact. The narrator explained. It looks like he's just simply punching, but that's not it. It's an ultimate strike, flawlessly executed. As if countless punches united in one trajectory. The force in it is like a volcano about to erupt. He didn't focus on unnecessary moves. He's focused all his power into just this one punch. The proof is that no one has managed to stop him after perfecting this punch. The narrator continued. Any martial master of the life and death realm would know that it's hard to react in time from this distance. However, he's using formless sword to respond to my punch. Yo Woon counterattacked. The white-haired man watched from above. Oh, what? Marakim shouted in a panic. Demon Lord, grandfather yelled. Yo-un! A massive shockwave flattened the valley. The warriors screamed. The masters panted. Cough. Cough. Ooh, what kind of shockwave is this strong? Is the Demon Lord all right? The smoke cleared. A warrior asked. Was the Demon Lord defeated? Another shouted. Oh, look! Qian Yo Woon and the combat divine stood in the center of a massive crater. The combat divine wiped a trickle of blood from his lip. Qian Yo Woon stood steady and looked at him. The combat divine thought. What strong reflective power. It's been so long since my fist felt sore like this. Yo Woon panted. He thought to himself. All of his attacks are finishers. My true chi is superior to his, but he can produce more force. He's managed to become this strong without even an essence core. He's my opponent, but I have to admit he's truly amazing. He continued his internal monologue. The unification of all 24 moves of the heavenly demon sword art. It's the last technique that my ancestor made, based on the life and death realm. But not only can he also unify all of his techniques into one, he can also adjust it freely to his will. The combat divine spoke aloud. It's been a while since I had such a proper fight. It would be an insult not to give my everything in a fight against someone like you. I admit it, you're not an unwelcome guest. You are a great adversary. He stood firm and released an even greater pressure. He announced. It's been decades since someone has made me use the Zenith Martial Void Fist. The nearby warriors trembled. I can feel a really intense energy. The space around him is warping. Yo Woon thought to himself. I could say the same. He gathered his own demonic energy into his palms. He thought to himself. You'll die if you let your guard down, combat divine. The combat divine thought to himself. I guess he was also not giving it his all. The grandfather watched in terror. What he was showing me wasn't everything he had. I knew that he had absorbed the essence cores, but to be able to manage all these different types of true chi with just one body, he observed the balance of power. The heavenly demonic chi is the center of it all. It's balancing out all the other chi types. This duel will decide who the strongest martial artist is. Be careful, Yo-un. Yo Woon observed his opponent. Ever since he got into his proper stance, I couldn't find any weaknesses or openings. Both his offenses and defenses are perfect. The combat divine thought to himself. I haven't felt this nervous in a while. I've never seen anyone imbue all three of those formless sword with elemental true chi like this, but combined with that black energy, it feels even more intimidating. If he is able to manipulate all three of those formless swords proficiently, it'll be like fighting three martial masters. Then, I better get close. He lunged forward. Yo Woon thought to himself. What great wind pressure. But, the wind swirled violently around them. Yo Woon thought, this wind is to hide the force of his punch. If I just focus on the wind, his fist will directly strike my chest. The combat divine thought to himself. Did he notice what I'm trying to do? Their fists collided with a resounding impact. He blocked it. The combat divine thought. He didn't completely offset it, but wasn't able to get through the punch. He gasped in shock. He did? I can't stop the black energy. I won't be able to close the distance. Yo Woon sent a formless sword spinning toward him. The combat divine thought. Shit! He can use techniques with the formless sword? Just warping the space alone won't stop him. I have no choice. Zenith Martial Void Fist. He struck the incoming energy with everything he had. He's managed to pull in the force using Formless Fist. It broke through my formless sword, reversing the flow of energy. The combat divine watched the 3 floating blades. Is he already done recovering? It seems like he still has some true chi left too. This isn't good. I'm capable of outputting just as much force, but I don't have enough true chi. He analyzed the situation. He's maintaining 3 formless swords and still hasn't run out of true chi. It's like I'm dealing with a mythical creature. I guess I'll have to take some risks. He prepared his ultimate move. An elemental formless sword has a similar force output as formless fist with concentrated energy. I'll break through all 3 at once and kill him using the Zenith Martial Void Fist's ultimate move. I'll have to endure the reverse flow of true chi 3 times, but this must be done. He closed the distance rapidly. He thought to himself, strange. I have gotten this close, but he's not doing anything. I don't know what he's planning, but I have more advantage the closer I am. I'll be able to use the ultimate move of the Zenith Martial Void Fist without much damage to myself. Yo Woon smiled. You have taught me something really useful. Thank you, Combat Divine. The Combat Divine thought to himself. Not only his own strength, but even the attributes within the formless sword are being concentrated into a single point. This is dangerous. A massive red beam shot across the valley. The Combat Divine thought. Gah! It's fast as a flash. Too late to dodge. Boundless Void Fist Extreme Secret Technique. He struck the energy head-on. The surrounding warriors screamed. Wah! The Combat Divine grunted in pain. It's several times stronger than his sword techniques. I might get swept away and die if I try to endure any longer. I have to shift its direction. He roared in effort. The red beam was deflected upward, tearing through the sky. My God! Moongyu and Marakim stared in shock. That's impossible, a warrior observed. It pierced right through the mountain peak. The Combat Divine looked at his blackened, shaking arm. Ha! The bones and muscles in my right arm are twisted. I won't be able to use it anymore. Qian Yo Woon walked forward. Impressive, as expected. I'll fire them simultaneously this time, so see if you can block these as well. The Combat Divine panted. What? He still has true chi to spare? Yo Woon thought to himself. Is what I thought, but concentrating my strength into the attribute-infused formless sword consumed 30% of my true chi in an instant. It would be best if he simply admitted defeat. The Combat Divine exhaled. I don't want to take the life of a martial artist, who reached such a level through sheer human effort. If another offensive like that is possible, it'll be impossible to stop. You win this match, he continued. They say the backwaters of the Yangtze push the front waters forward, and you are far stronger than the previous leader of the Heavenly Demon Pavilion. The leader of the Heavenly Demon Cult? Grandfather thought to himself. The war god knew my father. Just how old is he? Ha! Yo Woon thought to himself. He was a martial artist from the same generation as my great-grandfather. No wonder his martial arts feel like they're steeped in so many years of experience. The Combat Divine sighed. Ha! Yo Woon observed. His eyes show he hasn't given up yet. He still looks ready to stop anyone from entering Mount Changbai. Just what is he doing this for? He asked. Did you have any relationship with my great-grandfather? The Combat Divine answered. I wouldn't go that far. Our paths simply crossed, and we sparred a couple of times. I suppose that can be considered a connection in its own way. Yo Woon asked. However, I'd like to know the reason why you're blocking the entrance to Mount Changbai. The old master explained. Here on Mount Changbai lives a being that ordinary people cannot handle. I am guarding this place to prevent people from encountering it. Yo Woon thought to himself. Ah! What Zen Master Wu Chun said was true. Are you talking about that man with the piercing eyes from earlier? The Combat Divine replied. Yes. That being is extremely dangerous, as it has lived for a long time, harboring nothing but hatred, resentment, and bloodlust. Yo Woon smiled. Seeing as how you call it, a being, it seems it's not human after all. The Combat Divine looked startled. He thought to himself. Did he vaguely realize that because he fought he himself? Yo Woon asked. You said you're trying to prevent people from being harmed by that being, but do I look like someone who would be harmed? The Combat Divine thought to himself. Indeed, he is a special case. Before that guy's mutation occurred, he was certainly superior. He was never someone who needed protection from it. I hoped for a purification while I guarded this place alive. If I'm not mistaken, nothing has changed since then. He continued his thoughts. If I eventually grow weak and lose the covenant, an uncontrollable massacre will break out in the Central Plains. Sakyung, my friend, for your sake, it would be a mercy to put him out of his misery with my own hands. But even that has become difficult now. The time for the 10-year covenant is approaching, and my right arm won't heal by then. I don't know if I could if I gave it my all, but if anything goes wrong, that thing will escape the confines of Mount Changbai. He asked Yo Woon, Is your goal the core of the spirit beast as well? Yo Woon responded. Do you think there would be any other reason? The combat divine laughed. Unexpected. Others always put forth a righteous cause first, but you don't hide your greed. With your skills, you likely have no equal in the Central Plains Murum, so why do you seek the core? Yo Woon thought to himself, to prevent the future Blade God from obtaining immortality through the spirit beast's core. But even if I said that, he wouldn't believe me. I'll give him a rough idea. He spoke aloud. Recently, a sect called the Blade God 6 Martial Clan has been spreading through the Central Plains. Their leader is seeking immortality through a spirit beast. A massive explosion occurred on the mountaintop. Yo Woon gasped. The combat divine asked in alarm. Is that a pillar of water? Is it Heaven Lake? What was that just now? A terrifying roar shook the mountain. A beast's roar. Grandfather trembled. Yo Woon asked, is this perhaps the white tiger? The combat divine gritted his teeth. So he finally broke the covenant. Yo Woon asked, covenant? The old master shouted, the thing resides at the summit. That roar means what I had feared has happened. The combat divine sprinted toward the summit. Yo Woon followed. He thought to himself, it seems that while we were fighting, the Blade God 6 Martial Clan stabbed us in the back. The combat divine stated, the Blade God 6 Martial Clan? Now that I think about it, those from the Orthodox Murum Alliance said something like that. Things have spiraled out of control. We must stop them. Yo Woon warned, if the White Tiger's core falls into their hands, it could be truly dangerous. The combat divine interrupted. That's not it. You must never let that thing transform into its true form. Yo Woon thought to himself. Is he not worried about the spirit beast's core being stolen? Is it because he doesn't know the Blade God 6 Martial Clan? With their strength, they could easily take the spirit beast. A sudden wave of murderous intent hit them. Yo Woon shouted. Dark clouds are gathering in the once clear sky. How can such an anomaly occur? The combat divine explained grimly. After living for nearly 1,000 years, it became a fallen spirit beast just before its ascension. It is a monster that must never, ever be unleashed upon the world. The narrator explained. The Wind White Tiger. This divine beast was one of the 5 spirits. Among the 5 spirits, the Wind White Tiger was the only one whose habitat was known, and that place was Mt. Changbai in the east. No one knows when these divine beings first appeared on this land or how they came to be, but it is said that after living for countless ages, they reach the peak of their spiritual power and undergo ascension. Qian Yo Woon and the combat divine sprinted through the terrain. Yo Woon asked, does ascension mean what I think it does? The combat divine remained silent. Yo Woon thought to himself. For a name like Wind White Tiger, it's remarkably dark. The combat divine explained grimly. Since it failed to undergo ascension, its spiritual power was consumed by rage and hatred, transforming it into that. I still remember it vividly. When the sacred divine beast of Mt. Changbai roared in fury, as if it were wailing, the way it turned into a monster that would shroud the world in destruction. Yo Woon thought to himself. I think I've seen something similar before. The heavenly demon sword art. When I first obtained it, I saw someone who I presumed to be my ancestor in my mind's eye, cutting off the horn of an amugi that was trying to become a dragon and ascend. Since I only saw it through a vision, I thought the amugi simply turning black was all there was to it. But to think it's a monster capable of making the heavens and earth tremble like this, considering how the white body of the amugi turned dark back then, was that amugi also corrupted? He continued his thoughts. To split the head of such a monster into dozens of pieces with a single technique, the more I learn, the more his martial prowess truly seems to have reached the level of a god. Could it be that the Wind White Tiger's ascension was also interrupted? He looked at the old master. Judging by his expression, there must be a story behind it. It would be awkward to ask any further. The combat divine spoke. A little over 100 years ago, it became like that after losing its most precious friend. Yo Woon asked, a friend? The master replied, yes. That friend was also an old acquaintance of mine. He was an interesting fellow, enough to have even the guardian deity of Mt. Changbai, whom everyone feared, as a companion. If only he hadn't died so pointlessly, this never would have happened. This creature, which hasn't broken the covenant for nearly 100 years, has revealed its true form. Just what was it that provoked you? He wondered. Could it be? The narrator explained. A short while ago, east of Mt. Changbai, a warrior reported. Lord Wang Haiol, it seems a great battle has broken out to the north. Wang Haiol replied, we must not miss this opportunity. They say there's a place brimming with spiritual energy near the mountain peak. We'll be arriving soon, so let's start searching from there. He reached the lake and looked out. I didn't know there was such a massive lake at the summit. No wonder the eastern tribes people call this a sacred mountain. He ordered, begin the search. They say the winged white tiger is about 3 times larger than a normal tiger, so it shouldn't be hard to find. The subordinate responded. Understood. Wang Haiol noticed someone. Who is that? The subordinate observed. I'm not sure, but seeing how he's circulating his qi, he appears to be injured. Wang Haiol gasped in shock. Oh, what? The white-haired man stood before them. How? He snarled. These filthy invaders dare to trespass on MT. Baekdu, you bastards! I'll kill you all. A warrior groaned as he was struck. Q. Wang Haiol shouted. Block him. Another warrior yelled. Left Great Elder, the messenger added. Right Great Elder, it seems there's an incident below. The white-haired man laughed manically. You bastards! Is traveling in swarms the only thing you know how to do? I'll tear every single one of you to shreds. Wang Haiol thought to himself. That isn't the language of the Central Plains. Is he a mountain guardian? What is that unique blade technique? I've never seen such a style before. It's a powerful blade technique that rivals the divine art of the extreme blade. To think another master besides the god of war, Ark Wui, was hiding here. This won't do. We'll all be slaughtered at this rate. The left Great Elder announced. I shall step in myself. Wang Haiol thought. Left Great Elder, the elder said. Don't worry, Lord Wang Haiol. That old man's mastery of the divine art of the extreme blade is even more perfect than mine. He clashed with the white-haired man and commanded. Cease your rampage, you beastly man. The man grinned. What kind of nonsense are you barking? You bald old geezer? The elder recoiled. The white-haired man shouted. How dare you point your feet at me? I've made up my mind. I'm definitely going to tear that old bald bastard apart. The elder spoke to his men. Everyone, step back. I will kill him myself. Wang Haiol thought to himself. I can't understand a word he's saying, but somehow it's infuriating. The warriors answered. Why yes, sir. They clashed again. The elder thought. How bizarre. The blade is strange, but every single move of the technique is a certain kill strike. He laughed. Ha ha, this is fun. Truly fun. The white-haired man narrowed his eyes. This technique. He stopped his attack. The elder asked. What? It was just getting interesting. Why stop all of a sudden? The man thought to himself. I know that technique. So it was you people. I see. Honestly, what on earth are you talking about? It's frustrating not being able to understand a word. The man screamed as a massive red aura exploded from his body. Wang Haiol looked on in terror. The man roared. He struck the elder. The old man groaned. Q. The warriors yelled. Left Great Elder. The water surged. A tidal wave is coming. Wang Haiol asked in panic. Left Great Elder. Are you all right? The elder panted, clutching his bleeding shoulder. I just lost an arm. How could I possibly be all right? Wang Haiol stared at the dark figure. What the hell is that? A deafening roar shook the mountainside. The warriors screamed. Arg! My ears! Wang Haiol gasped. To think a perfectly normal human would turn into a monster like that. Just what is going on? He shouted at his companion. Can't you see for yourself? That one remaining eye of yours must be useless. The subordinate thought. The ghost iron core and the disciples are collapsing just from the roar alone. Damn it, what should I do? He looked at the massive black creature. Is that really the winged white tiger we've been looking for? That monster that easily exceeds 30 jong in size? About 100 meter tall. The fallen mythical creature stood before the sect members. The warrior shouted. It's reacting to the attacks. The leader commanded. Fire from all sides. He reasoned to himself. Due to its size, its movements should be dull. The creature roared in fury and swung its massive tail. A man thought in horror. Just with one swing, and of these people. Another gasped to himself. I can't believe it, he realized. This isn't something we can deal with using martial arts, Wang Haiol muttered. This is a disaster in and of itself. The disciple screamed. It's coming this way. Move, the old man asked in pain. What? How can the wind be so sharp? Wang Haiol panted. This is gonna be difficult. The elder commented. Phew, just its cries are giving me the chills. Wang Haiol asked irritably. Do you know a good way to kill that thing, old man? The elder snapped. Do you want me to pluck out that remaining eye of yours? A warrior thought in terror. It's so strong. This is way different from when we fought the Great Pung. The elder observed. Ooh, so that is the fallen mythical creature? The man shouted in relief. Blade Master? He added. You're here, Blade Master. Wang Haiol bowed. I offer my greetings to the Blade Master. A disciple thought to himself. I heard that he would be joining us after he stopped the Orthodox Muram alliance. Is he already done? Wang Haiol asked. Blade Master. What shall we do about that monster? The Blade Master commanded coldly. Don't do anything. I will take care of this myself. A warrior was confused. Sorry. The Blade Master launched himself toward the creature. A man cheered. "It's the Blade Master! Whoa!" He shouted. He cut through the tornado. The monster roared. The Blade Master thought with a smirk. "Combat divine. This is how I will get it." He analyzed his power. "The unification of internal energy that you showed me 20 years ago." He yelled, "I will behead you." Wang Hole screamed in fear. "Blade Master." The Blade Master laughed. "This is it. I shall take your essence core." The creature roared again as a powerful shockwave hit the Blade Master. Wang Hole cried out, "Be Blade Master." The Blade Master groaned. "Q," he thought to himself. "I couldn't defend myself because I was so focused on the formless sword," he panted. "Phew. Quite the resistance." He noted to himself. "That was pretty shocking, but my internal wounds are already healed thanks to the essence core I already had. If I push it a bit more, I'm sure I can kill it." He suddenly looked up in shock. He yelled, "Oh, what?" He wondered in horror. "What is this overwhelming energy?" The Blade Master gasped. "That's." The purple energy beam tore through the sky and struck the beast. The fallen divine beast roared in agony as the energy pierced it. It collapsed to the ground and groaned. The tornado surrounding the area dissipated. Wang Hole muttered, "TCH." A soldier noticed something in the crater. "Huh?" Wang Hole shouted. "The core. It's the core." Another warrior observed. "Oh, so that's the Wind-White Tiger's core." Wang Hole commanded, "Secure the core immediately." A demonic hand reached out through the smoke. It grabbed the glowing blue orb. Qian Yo Woon appeared and held the core. Wang Hole cried out, Demon God." Another soldier gasped. "What? The Demon God?" Yo Woon smiled at them. "Good work." The Blade Lord gritted his teeth. The narrator explained. "A little while earlier, Ark Wui spoke to Yo Woon. I have devoted nearly 100 years trying to purify that creature, so that it might ascend again according to the will of light. But it seems like that's no longer possible." He looked at the darkening sky. "Now that it has cast aside the restraint of the covenant and transformed into its true body, it will stain the central plains with blood. Just like, back in the age of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, the 6-headed dragon turtle once wiped out the people of the central plains. Originally, this mission was entrusted to me. But if it becomes impossible, then please kill that creature with your own hands." Yo Woon asked him, "You sure you won't regret it?" Ark Wui replied, "I held that creature back until now for the sake of affection and the greater cause. But because of that affection, I cannot just allow the innocent and ordinary people of the Central Plains to die." Yo Woon thought to himself, "For those who possess power, the safety of the innocent has always come second. The same is true for martial artists as well. Yet this war god, despite possessing martial powers stronger than anyone, has resolved to sever 100 years of attachment just like that in order to prevent indiscriminate slaughter. A true man of chivalry. Shouldn't the warriors of the Martial Artists Alliance, who keep boasting of shallow justice, truly respect a man like this?" Yo Woon spoke aloud. "Very well. If I am to grant your request, I must hurry even more." He used his lightness skill and sped off. Ark Wui muttered in surprise. His lightness skill, when used at full power, is almost equal to mine. So what exactly is he planning to do here? Yo Woon moved through the air like a shadow. Ark Wui gasped. "I'll go ahead." "Oh, what in the world?" Yo Woon looked down at the battle between the Blade Lord and the beast. He observed. Unification of power. He froze nearly 1/5 of that vast lake in an instant. Grandfather said that the Blade Lord, the leader of the Blade God's 6 martial clan, led his full force to obtain the Great Pung's core at the Potala Palace. Then that means that man must be the Blade Lord. After the Great Pung, he now dares to target the Wind-White Tiger's core as well. Yo Woon commanded, "Nano, find the location where the spiritual power is concentrated in that giant black tiger's body." Understood. A large amount of energy is concentrated in the chest area along the neck of the black tiger. Yo Woon decided, "Good. I can't let them take the Wind-White Tiger's core. If I were to intervene now, I won't accomplish anything and will only get caught in the fight between the Wind-White Tiger and the Blade Lord. I'll strike when it has weakened from the Blade Lord's attack." Qian Yo Woon struck the beast and extracted the orb. He smiled to himself. It succeeded. "I can feel a tremendous amount of spiritual power." The tiger groaned and panted. Yo Woon thought, to a martial artist, this must feel like having their Dantian destroyed. But it's better than letting those men take it. Wang Hole yelled in a rage. "Demon God, do you have no shame? Committing theft like some common street pickpocket." The Blade Lord thought to himself. However, the power contained in that single strike just now was truly breathtaking. To think he pierced the black tiger's body, which even the Blade Lord couldn't handle, in one blow. "Demon God, you're even more of a monster than I heard. I hate to say this, but it seems no one but the Blade Lord could possibly face him." He decided, even so, we must kill the demon god here and now. According to the records left by that person, we absolutely must. The Blade Lord roared, Demon God, this bastard! He launched a massive wave of blade energy. Yo Woon blocked it. Wang Hole shouted, they're fragments of sharp sword energy. Everyone, avoid them. Everyone, spread out. The Blade Lord demanded, Demon God, hand over the core to me. Yo Woon asked calmly, you, who are you? The Blade Lord smiled, I expected you to have at least that much discernment. I am the one who stands at the pinnacle of all blades. He drew his sword and announced, Extreme Blade God Art, 11th sword form, Extreme Speed Killing Blade. He attacked with blinding speed. Yo Woon dodged and thought to himself, to unleash the Extreme Speed Killing Blade without even a drawing technique. It seems his claim of being the pinnacle of the blade wasn't an exaggeration. The Blade Lord struck again. I'll take back what you stole. Yo Woon moved the core in front of the blade. The Blade Lord looked shocked. He thought to himself, ditch this bastard. How shameless of you to intend to use the core as a shield. He shouted, then I'll take your head. A blue ice sword suddenly flicked between them. The Blade Lord asked in surprise, a flicked sword energy? Someone's above. He looked up. An ice sword? An ice sword enveloped in sword energy? I too can create an ice sword using the yin energy of the Great Pung, but no matter how much I concentrate, I am not confident that I can make the sword energy endure like that, he admitted. Amazing. You're the first master I've seen since 20 years ago, who has achieved this level. As expected, especially you. I cannot let you take this core.